Anti-derivative Jill.
There she is. There she is.
Welcome to Jill's.
Can I offer you some tea?
Good tea. Nice house.
Would you make me some of that Plomeek soup? Greetings and felicitations.
Come on, Sandra. Throw it.
Hello and welcome to Plomeek Teatime number 76. And today we're talking about a movie directed by Edgar Wright in 2004 called Shaun of the Dead. It's an incredibly hilarious British horror romantic comedy film about an everyday guy who ends up having to save others from a zombie apocalypse and his relationships with those people. So this year I skipped my high school reunion to instead take a family vacation to a water park. So I'm considering this my celebration of 20 years since I graduated high school, and also the release of Shaun of the Dead. So Simon Pegg pretty much says it all in his book called Nerd Do Well, which was not available. I was able to find it on archive.org, but I wasn't able to download it to read all of it. So there's details in it. You know, you'd have to buy it, I guess, to read the whole thing. But some of it was available, and I think he explains it here pretty well. When Shaun of the Dead received its North American release in the fall of 2004, we had no idea it would strike such a chord with audiences. Perhaps it didn't theoretically, but certainly on DVD. Constructed lovingly and without cynicism from established tropes harvested from American horror cinema, a process that made the film at once recognizable and exotic. It was America through a beer glass darkly. It wasn't really our intention as such, more a byproduct of our very British affection for the films of New York City-born filmmaker George A. Romero. Whatever our motive, the result was that the film was simultaneously strange and familiar to audiences across the Atlantic. I suppose to explain why an independent British movie did so well all around the world, or especially in America. So today, to talk to us about those movies, this movie in particular, is Scotty R37. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, ready to kill some zombies?
We're not using the Z word.
Oh.
That's the Z word. Don't say.
And hello, and also hello to Tiger Stripes.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm so glad you're here.
I've got my cricket bat ready.
I'm doing well. Good news. Also, hello to the chat. Well,
Heyo, chat.
I've got a drill. I think it might work. It is a close range weapon though, but I like melee. Hello to Franco Walker.
Hey, Franco.
Franco.
Yeah. We're both going to spend more time watching the review.
Hey,
and Franco says it's been too long since I watched this. It's finding the time. Yeah, it has been too long. It had been too long for me. It was so much fun watching it yesterday. And this is a line from the film, cock it, which is, I'm sure, British slang for something.
Oh, there's a bunch of slurs in this. It's great. Bollocks.
Gavin,
cock it.
Okay, so we have a poll in the chat. Was Shaun right? Which location would you choose to hide out during the zombie apocalypse? And if you don't agree with any of these choices, you can type it in the chat where you would hide. So the choices are the Winchester pub, like Shaun chose, Liz's apartment, a grocery store or a government building, and Gavin Blackburn agrees with Shaun, always hide in the pub. At least you got booze. Yes, and Molotov cocktails. And they have pull cues for beating people, yeah, to the tune of "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. Yeah. And a pint, a good cigarette. I'm just not saying that word. Better than Gen 1.6. Although supermarkets have a lot of booze too, the deciding factor was all those windows supermarkets have are easily broken by zombies. Ooh, good
Well, and
point.
Franco, when it was offered up in the poll, the immediate response I had was like, "Hasn't anybody seen The Mist? You can't hole up in a grocery store."
Well, I realized I was wrong, but my problem was when I thought of the mall, I thought of Zombieland, and that didn't turn out well either.
Well, in Dawn of the Dead, the original George Romero Dawn of the Dead.
Mhm. And Gavin Blackburn says, "My Jill, that's a big tool on your hand." Yes, this is from this was the inspiration for this was on April Fool's Day. I didn't know what pretend name to give myself. And in a Doomcock live stream, he accidentally said my name is Antiderivative Drill. And Fed for Hire made this for me. And I figured it's a pretty good zombie weapon if you're up close with the zombie. Because you drill their head.
Yeah, but the battery's going to die.
Yeah, well, I have backups.
Well, and then I guess it's pretty heavy, so you could just club.
Yeah, right, exactly. It'll work for a while.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sparse with your attacks.
Drilling.
Yeah, and you have a backup weapon that doesn't require batteries. That's a good point. This movie cost $6 million to make. Just proof that a good script is what is needed to make a great movie. Yes, exactly. So way too much money is being spent on films, especially now. Franco Walker says, "Please subscribe and hit the bell, share, hit like, and select live chat." Agreed. Woohoo! And I'd like to welcome Terrier.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Hurrah!
Hey.
Now it's a party.
Yes, it is. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is ask about your experience with this film. The first time I saw it was just with my husband. We were just watching movies we hadn't seen before, and it cracked me up. It was because it takes the horror aspect so seriously, especially with the music and the way that everything's shot. And I really enjoyed the humor juxtaposed with it. It's so good. So, what do you tell me? Do you remember when you first watched it and what you thought about it? Scotty R37.
Actually, I'll pass the shoe to Terrier, just arriving.
I think it must have been maybe the same year it came out, or maybe after. I did not see it cinematically, but I bought a DVD from the UK of the movie and had just heard a lot of good things about it. And the trailer, of course, seemed to just be right up my alley. Of course, I have a deep love relationship with especially Italian zombie movies, which this, of course, does reference quite a bit, especially Dawn of the Dead, but many other. It's kind of like an homage, it's a modern homage to maybe many of those famous Italian zombie movies. The zombies in this movie is by no doubt Italian inspired in the way they move and feel. And I remember watching it with a bunch of my friends in my old then apartment. It would have been the same year approximately I moved out of my parents' house and into my first apartment in the other side of the country. And I just remember all of us just having the time of our lives, laughing and just loving the combination of British humor with all the gore and all the smart gimmicks and overall the story of it. It's just a really well told romantic zombie comedy, which isn't something you get that often.
Rom-com. Yes, it is. I
Some
agree.
rom-com.
Thank you.
And I had
Thank you.
watched
Yes,
at that point. I had watched Spaced, the TV series from Simon Pegg, so I kind of knew him from there.
yeah, I think that's what is really great about this movie are the relatable characters and the story and witticisms. And Tiger Stripes. What about you?
I wish I had a story like that. I feel sure that I had seen Shaun by the time I went to see The World's End in theater, and that I did go see with friends, and I'm like, oh no, we have to go see this in the theater, and we have to go together, blah, blah, blah. So, but I feel like I just saw Shaun, on streaming at home, knowing that everybody was talking about it, and it was a big buzz, and people were fans, and that it was something that I needed to incorporate into my film library conceptually in my brain. But I came to love Edgar Wright as a director, with me even kind of before I knew who he was. I loved the style, and at some point I made the connection. Oh my God, this is Edgar Wright. Spaced is Edgar Wright. Shaun of the Dead is Edgar Wright. And then by that time, and did I even realize that World's End was Edgar Wright? I don't know. I knew it was the ending of the Cornetto trilogy, but I don't know that I'd still made the connection. But subsequently, I go see his movies because I know they're an Edgar Wright movie as a director. But it took a while for the penny to drop.
Oh, I need to see Spaced. I have not seen
It's
that
fun.
show at all.
It's on streaming services here and there. That's where I watched it.
All I learned was that one of those episodes kind of inspired this movie.
Yes. First time I saw it was in cinema. I was working at a place called the Bookshelf Cafe in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. And it was a bookstore, a cafe, a restaurant, and a movie theater, and a dance club. And it was all in the same building. And so sometimes they would do midnight shows for free, and they would get like a giant garbage bag of popcorn and pass it around, and we could smoke weed in the cinema. And it was just a party. It was almost like the beginning of the Muppet movie, where we would just all be, let's play the movie. And we all had a ball with it. We loved it. I had enjoyed it so much that I spent the next couple of months growing a goatee so I could dress up like Shaun from Shaun of the Dead for Halloween. And absolutely, yeah, because it takes me years to grow facial hair. But I discovered Edgar Wright through this. I hadn't seen Spaced, and so I went and I got a region-free DVD player so I could get the only physical copy that you could get, which was an import. Binged that, and then when this movie came out on DVD, I was hyping it up to my dad for over and over and over again, and he's like, well, I finally want to see this. And it actually got my dad into the zombie genre as a whole. So as soon as he saw this, he was like, well, we got to get Night of the Living Dead, we have to get Shaun of the Dead, we have to get Day of the Dead. Pretty much any zombie movie that my father has seen is because of this movie. I love it. I think it's nearly perfect.
Yeah, I can agree with you, but at the same time, my heart tells me to say it's perfect, even though it's only nearly. But yes, that's one of your great stories of
well, we'll get into it later because you
Yeah.
shamed me for my Halloween costume, but we'll talk about it later once the blood starts flowing.
Oh, okay. Can we talk about it? I should have asked.
I don't see why not. I tell it proudly. You think it's a shame. I think it's one of the most epic Halloween costumes I've ever done.
Well, and you lived it.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Survived.
And of course, I have to say hello to Ari Bavel and
Ari.
James Caserta.
James.
Hey, James.
The sonic screwdrivers. Yes, thank you very much.
Lovely.
Oh, he got a sonic screwdriver. Okay, that's right.
That's amazing.
I think that's what happened here.
Well, and it's kind of appropriate because Simon Pegg was in the season of New Who, the first season of New Who. He was the controller. I forget specifically.
He was in a couple of shows.
Oh yeah,
according to IMDb. That was the Tenet era.
No, I think it was Eccleston.
I looked it up and I saw a picture of Tenet, but haven't actually seen them, so not sure. Maybe both.
Oh, you guys. Oh, there's just. Well, we could find out and determine which Doctor Who he was in.
I seem to remember the episode. Was it aboard some kind of space station with several levels or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I remember the episode, but I also can't really remember what doctor it was. But I
Season 1.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Oh, that's because I have I watch too many things and things get jumbled in my head.
It goes to the continuity of the Doctor.
So it was season 1. So it was 9th.
Okay.
Okay. Gavin Blackburn says a pub is a good place for the apocalypse. Aliens aren't going to go to the pub. You have pool cues you can use as stakes against vampires. And for everything else, you can get so drunk you don't care. And oh yeah, speaking of vampires, there was supposed to be a sequel with vampires, because it was going to be what was it going to be called?
From Dusk Till Shaun.
Thank you. But that never happened.
And thankfully it never happened, because I adore the Cornetto trilogy, and I like how each one of them is distinct unto themselves.
Every time you said Cornetto trilogy, I was like, what? I always buy drumsticks, so I didn't know about Cornetto ice cream.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I
had no idea that's what they were called. It's very British.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Teriyaki almost exactly the same ice cream over here, but they're not called Cornettos. But I do know Cornettos from visiting the UK many times. What's the name we have for the exact same type of ice cream? It's the name escapes me, but it'll come back to me. But they're basically exactly the same. The cone and the vanilla ice cream and some chocolate topping, or you have the strawberry edition.
Yes, and in this case, we have the strawberry edition to symbolize the blood.
Mm-hmm.
And hello to Nix. Hey, Nix, how are you?
Hey, Nix.
Franco knows about space and he loves it. I've got to check it out.
I do want to get the North American box set for it, because apparently it has audio commentaries from like Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino. It's a star-studded set.
I don't think the vampire one would work. Well, right. I mean, especially if they don't have Salma Hayek.
Because that's what vampires need. It's what vampires crave. It's Salma Hayek.
Oh, now the name came to me. We call it Krone Is, which basically means crown ice cream.
Oh, cool. We have drumstick in America.
Yeah.
And I want to welcome Darth Cat to the stream. Great to see you.
Yes, great to see you guys too.
Hey, Cat.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So before we get started, I want to ask you about your first time watching this movie.
I believe it was September 2004. A friend of mine had found out about it. I didn't even know that this was coming out. And it's like, oh, we got to go see this. It's going to be great. So we go down there and we're watching it. And I think on my first viewing, Nick Frost was my favorite part. I thought he was hilarious. Also, on my first viewing, I wasn't really a fan of them just spending so much time at the Winchester. I get the joke, but I don't know. I came to like it a lot more in later years, but it is a really funny movie. Really good. Not my favorite Edgar Wright. That would be Hot Fuzz, but this is still very good. Yeah, I think my
Yeah.
favorite joke is when
Yes.
Ed is preparing to take a picture with his cell phone in that scene that Scott has, or that's playing up in the upper right-hand corner of the stream.
Yeah, yeah, right. Because he does. It takes them a while to realize zombies are happening.
Oh
They
yeah,
just think she's drunk.
I love Ed. He's just like when they're all being like attacked by zombies in the street, and somebody calls him on his cell phone. He's like, "No, I can talk." Oh god, he's just amazing. I wish they did more.
Yeah, I agree. He's well. You know what? It not only is it a good movie, but yes, I actually really like that they spend a lot of time in the park because Ed appreciates all the people who are in it, and he knows them really well.
That's true.
I think this used to be my favorite of the Cornetto trilogy, but I agree with Kat that in like later years and rewatchings, Hot Fuzz is actually the one I do think is the best one.
That's actually the only one I haven't seen yet.
Oh
Hot
wow!
Fuzz, really? You're in
Yeah.
for a treat.
You gotta see that. I think you'll love it.
I'm sure I will.
Oh,
And I
it'd be
want to say
World's
hello
End for me.
Yeah, I'm a
In
world.
terms
I
of
love.
Cornetto.
Yeah, I love this
Yeah.
movie so much, but I do enjoy The World's End very much. I think that I know this isn't. Maybe we'll talk about it because it's about robots taking over the Earth. But I
We
remember
should, yeah.
leaving the theater and saying, "I am so happy I could cry" after seeing that one.
Yeah, that was fun. I'd like to say hello to pop culture curator and Max Redstone. He says hello. I
Hey,
just
Max.
wanted to say hi and have a great show. I haven't yet seen Shaun of the Dead. Oh, thanks
Another
for stopping
person
by.
in for a treat.
Maddie's daddy is here. I never saw this movie, but I wanted to say hi and hit the like button. Oh, thank you.
Well, and it's a tight.
It's electric.
It's a tight flick, and I think that's why I celebrate the entire Cornetto trilogy, but out of the three of them, this one is sort of the tightest that goes at a pretty rapid click. And so I enjoy the brevity of this.
Yeah, right. I miss movies that are only an hour and 30 minutes, really. And hello to Railway Nation Gaming. And Nick says they are not robots. Robots mean slave in some cultures.
Oh, what do they call them? Bluey Gum Boys or something like that?
And also hello to Maggie.
We've got
regarding playtime of movies, I don't remember where, but I do remember reading a headline from an article a couple of months ago that there had been this giant research paper thing that had found out that the perfect runtime for a movie was 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that was some sort of poll. That was everyone's opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean that is perfect for a film. That's just
that is
what
true.
most people these days can tolerate, in terms of butt in the seat.
But again, I think that it does have to do a lot with the content of the film. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but just in terms of my viewing experience watching Oppenheimer, I felt like that was the fastest 3 hours I've ever experienced in my life. And so it does depend on the context.
Of course, yeah. Well, I love long movies. I enjoy watching a good matinee. But being a person who watches a lot of like cult cinema and 80s and 90s and sometimes 70s movies, that shorter runtime that seems to be less and less common now does feel like a good way to spend an evening without investing too much time in a movie. The storytelling gets kind of tighter sometimes with having the restriction of not being able to tell a story in like 3.5 hours.
Well, and it's more meaningful when that story is told in a tighter way, because then you can interchange all of the different characters and tie things together. And I really, something I love in this movie is all the repetition.
Well, and I have a list here of
you
Edgar
have a
Wright's
list?
director's trademarks. And there's walk-by transitions, film homages, whip pans and zooms, jarring match cuts, repetitive dialogue, bar scenes, kinetic car chases, and slapstick comedy. So that's one of
that's
his
all in here
trademarks.
too. That's a good
Yes.
one. And yeah, so and there are so many things that they repeat that come back and pay off really well.
Oh yeah, like it is
And
all set up and pay off.
Rule of 3 in comedy.
And one of the things that really grabbed me with Spaced, even though I had seen this first, is that those sort of director flourishes are very present in the television show. And so even watching something that preceded this chronologically, like watching that, I was like, it felt comfortable, it felt like home, and there was a definite style. It wasn't trying to be anything other than Edgar Wright, because only Edgar Wright can do Edgar Wright.
I love his style. He's so cool. And so Shaun's girlfriend, Liz, is asking for a little more in her life. She doesn't want to be stuck in the pub forever and not go anywhere. And also at the same time, Shaun is kind of having I guess you call it a quarter life crisis. That's a thing that happens to some people in terms of just being in your 20s and not knowing where you're going or if you're going anywhere.
Well, and it echoes a little bit of Clerks for me, just in terms of the crass best friend and the goateed hero and smashing into adulthood, whether you like it or not. And in this one, of course, the stakes are just that much higher.
A parallel scene to the end. I wonder if he's one of the like if he's also a zombie pushing carts at the end of the movie.
Well, who, Dante? He probably feels like it. There's Mary. Hey, Mary.
Well, that's the best part about the beginning of the movie. You don't actually have zombies yet, and yet everybody is walking around kind of zombified.
Kind of the comment of many of us already living life as if we kind of were zombies.
Yeah, and he does this twice during the movie.
Well, it's beautiful bookend.
And also this, I think it's wonderful. I think it pleases me.
The great Nick Frost.
Love the small child's butt back sombrero ashtray or whatever that is.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Looks like a mix between a juicer and an ashtray.
An ashtray, that must be what that is. I thought you'd use it for salsa. Well, it turns out that these two guys, actually Simon Pegg and you call him Jack Frost, they actually were Nick Frost. Jack Frost.
He's nipping at your nose.
I don't know why I was
thinking.
His
name is
Ed. Yes, the character's name is Ed. I don't know why I was thinking about a snowman. That's my bad. But apparently in real life, these
Christmas
two...
in July.
Yeah, exactly. These two actually did live together at one point. At some time.
And I bet it looked just like this.
It's all just character acting, moving up to this movie, just preparing.
Yeah, they've been preparing for this their whole life.
As a Norwegian, it always puzzles me as a Norwegian, the wearing of shoes inside.
I'm wearing shoes right now.
Yeah, we don't do that.
I'm not wearing shoes.
No, I'm not wearing shoes. I'm wearing socks.
It is uncalled for a Norwegian person to wear shoes, outside shoes inside. It is. No one does it. If you do, you're a freak. But I know it's a culture thing in England and the US that is very common. But it's ununderstandable to
I've heard it's a
to my
Canadian
culture.
thing. Is that true, Scott? Is it also a Canadian thing?
It depends. Like again, I don't think it's as culturally frowned upon. You can do it if you want. Obviously, make sure that you're not tracking dirt into someone else's house. But sometimes, some people, I've heard stand-up comedians say, "If I come over to your house, why are you requesting I get my feet naked?" So, I suppose it depends on the instance.
Well, I suppose if you really, really love your carpet and you want it to last forever, you can ask people to take off their shoes. So Nick says there are movies that make 3 hours disappear, and at the end you'll go, "Is that it? I need more. Give me the extended edition now." Yes, Lord of the Rings is the exception to 3 hours being too long, and more
For
movies than
you.
that also. For me, yes, for me, but it's a
Actually, for pretty much everybody.
For a lot of
me,
people.
I just got a replica One Ring in the mail, which I've placed on the side of my 4K editions of the movies. So
Nice. That's awesome.
Just whipping out your preciouses.
I'd like one that will only show the text if it gets hot. Nix says monotone work and life with zombies before the epidemic.
Well, and that
Shaun,
is
this is my question for
even
Scotty.
pre-cell phone. These days, you go anywhere and everybody's just staring into their cell phone like a zombie.
Yes.
I mean, there's actually a phone booth in this film, which is just, you'd never see them anymore.
Yes.
And
well, the
CRT
yeah.
televisions as well. It's all very much right on the crux of everything changing and becoming digital.
Yeah. Oh, even the.
And then we all did become zombies.
And then the jukebox, like the jukebox is now, it's basically just a panel on the wall if you want to use it. They don't have actual physical CDs changing anything. It's all digital.
Yeah, it's like just a iPad with Spotify.
And yet the music library is still limited. As if there were like just CDs in there.
All right. Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips asks in the chat, very important questions. Did I get my She-Hulk yet? The answer is no. However, wheels are in motion. And I want to thank everybody for their support.
Yes, quite exciting. So they're just Revelation. Another thing in this movie, Revelation humor, revealing things.
Yes.
Really, really done well in this movie. Cracks me up every time.
I want to give a big shout out to Peter Serafinowicz, incredible British comedian and voice of
Pete?
Darth Maul. That's Pete.
Okay.
Voice of Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace, not in the Clone Wars animated series. But incredible.
Also played the Tick in its most recent incarnation.
Very true.
Oh, I love the old animated The Tick show. I used to watch that when I grew up.
And again, in terms of repetition in the film, we get Shaun waking up and sort of being oblivious, ignoring everyone around him so that he can perform his task at hand.
The morning routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first round of him. Among everybody's alive in this scene.
Except for her.
Also, one of my favorite things when visiting London, a good corner shop.
That's right. People do start to go in this scene. Your favorite corner shop? Oh, right.
No, I just one of my favorite parts of visiting London is just visiting a good corner shop, like a small kiosk just randomly placed somewhere. They have so much charm.
I haven't visited London yet, but this movie makes me feel like I have. So this is his job. He's the oldest employee, and the kids make fun of him for it.
Well, and then you get Rafe Spall, who does show up in Hot Fuzz.
Which one is that? Is that the main kid who's
Noel.
a jerk?
Yeah, the main kid who's a jerk. And he's gone on to do other things as well. It's
Timothy's son, I imagine.
I'm not 100% sure of his lineage.
I think he's Timothy Spall's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That
yeah,
was-
and so go ahead.
Yeah, Timothy Spall was Wormtail in the Harry Potter films. So,
Wormtail. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
so you can kind of
Wait.
see a little there in Rafe's face, I think. The eyebrows.
No, I didn't notice that. That's amazing. But of course, he has lots of alterations done to be Wormtail. But I also learned a bunch of British like munted. I guess that means you're wasted
Oh, okay, yeah.
the night. Mhm.
I've been munted.
Yeah, me too. I just never knew that was the word. There's no I in team, but there's an I in pie. And the anagram of meat is team. I don't know why that's funny, but it's hilarious.
And it is interesting just in terms of the performances. That like the point where he's tapping the pen on his hand, waiting for the phone call to end, and then the cap comes off and he grabs it and pulls it back up or jumps back into frame. That was all sort of improvised in the take, and or at least it was improvised and then used in the film. And I love the foreshadowing for all this. Like, you've got Red on You, which does become a thing. And here we go.
Yes.
Bill Nye.
Bill Nye.
This is
also
actually
best pen acting since Goldeneye.
True story. Absolutely true story. But this is my first interaction with Bill Nye. I had never seen it. At this point, had he been in Love Actually?
Yes, the year before.
Because I still haven't seen Love Actually. But this
Oh,
was my introduction.
It's a great movie. It is. Save it for Christmas.
I will. That's what I understand.
It's Christmas in July. You could watch it now.
It is Christmas in July. Maybe I could watch it now. Yeah, good call.
Well, see, I almost thought I had to watch this during Halloween, and then Scotty was like, "No, you can watch this anytime." Oh, you're right.
You can watch a zombie movie anytime.
Why restrict myself to zombies in October? Go
ahead. Gavin Blackburn. That's funny. Munted means very drunk, says Franco Walker. Oh well, then I'm munted currently.
Cannot do that right now.
No, I'm fine.
Franco Walker says the boat that rocked. Oh,
that's
wait,
a great
what
movie.
Well,
they released that as pirate radio in the U.S.
UK.
Yeah,
it? I thought it was pirate radio in the UK.
No,
you're Muslim.
Oh, okay.
Your Muslim uncle said I would hide in a grocery center, and Snortopoopas is here. Hello.
Poopas.
Hello, Mr. Scotty. And I thought everybody getting excited saying this actor's name, I thought it's a science guy too.
Different Bill Nye.
Different Bill Nye. It smelled a little different too. Did I miss anybody else? Oh, hey. Music and Fun, etc. I just met him. Hello.
Hello, MNFE.
Also, Adam Gray. I just talked to him yesterday.
Nice.
The script is super tight.
Yeah.
Not a moment or scene is wasted in this movie. Everything will become relevant and connected and important.
Yes. Oh yeah, like everything again, it's set up, payoff, but it isn't just for the jokes, but it's also character interactions and love it.
Well, you could watch it a bunch of times and still find something new in the background or something weird happening that you
Yes.
weren't paying attention to before. It's one of those kind of movies.
Well, it does come.
Oh, that's a
It does
great
come.
idea. Hiding in the library. Why didn't I think of that?
Well, you're gonna throw books at people? I guess
Yes.
actually that's what John Wick would do. Just use a
Yes.
giant encyclopedia and whack them upside the skull.
Oh, I was thinking dictionary, but it's like. Hello to Brogu. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Just wanted to stop by and say hi. Take care and enjoy your weekend. This is the way.
That is the
Wow.
way.
That is the way. Thank you, Brogu, for showing us the way.
They went that way.
And his stepdad is here.
He's not my dad.
He wants Shaun to bring his mom some flowers.
And not some posies from a garage.
I love posies.
But like that's something, spoilers for the movie. But I love
there
how
we
that
go.
is so set up throughout the opening of this film, where it's like, he's not my dad. He's not my dad. And then when Barbara says, what about your dad? And Shaun says, he's not my
He's
dad.
not you. Not anymore.
And it's like, I wish you would give that up. And it's like, no. Different context. This is, yeah. And I just love that sort of word play. But it's also, again, the emotional beats in this is fantastic. But meanwhile, we have a man eating a pigeon.
Yes. I really, really love that repetition. Although, even though Shaun sees this directly, he does not see it as, he just sees it as a crazy person trying to eat a pigeon, not as a zombie.
I don't think it's that uncommon.
Oh, okay. Is this a thing? I mean,
I think it is.
Besides Ozzy Osbourne, I can't think of another person.
Yeah, even
bites ahead.
I've seen quite a few homeless people in my day. I've never seen anybody eat a pigeon.
A squirrel,
Penny.
sure, but a pigeon? No. Hey, Penny.
So let me see. I want that line. He's not my dad. Okay, but that was a great line because he says he's not my dad, Mom. He was, but he's not anymore. So that's only after his death does he accept him as his dad because of the the moment that his stepdad actually reveals that he actually cares.
And that's something that, like, the emotional connection or division that these characters have throughout the movie. It's believable. It does tug on the heartstrings of the audience. It is believable drama, but then it's juxtaposed with the horror and the comedy. But there are two moments, again, the confession of what it is to be a stepfather, followed by the death of Barbara. It's like the emotional weight is there, which is great. Like, it just adds to everything.
Yeah, that's what's magical about this movie. Nick says barely at the first part of Act 1, and we already know so much about the world, characters, and motivations. Yeah, it feels real, except for the whole, undead things running around. And even that can be a symbolism for something.
Oh, and I love this. Even the circular sort of jokes that are being made and the friendship between Ed and Shaun. It's like, your mom rang about you going over, and then Liz called about eating out, and then I called your mom about eating your mom out. It's just like, it's dirty. It's a lot of 2004 references that were more abrasive or acerbic, but they were hilarious. Again, it is a movie of its time, with certain considerations being.
Are they hilarious? But are they, Scotty? I
They
mean,
are
Yes.
hilarious.
I feel like part of this is kind of just to establish what a tremendous twat Ed is. That's the
Yes.
thing that I don't quite get is the basis of his friendship with Shaun. You know, just why is Shaun carrying this dead weight? This guy who
Because
doesn't contribute in almost any way except for the fact that I guess they were childhood friends.
they
I
were
think-
childhood friends, and he shares his humor.
I think it's also because ever since he broke up with Liz, he's just really depressed. So he's feeling like a loser. So he's hanging out with another loser.
But it does
he was-
establish that they went to like preschool together. They've known each other since elementary school or something. There is a
wow.
line on it.
That's
And
Well,
his whole life, basically.
well,
well,
and he was
loyalty and
with
friendship.
he was with Liz for 3 years with Ed and
Yes.
Liz's friends. So it was like a big friend group.
And Ed's clearly keeping their relationship from going any further.
Yes, that's said multiple times in the movie that Ed is holding Shaun back.
Yeah, it's weird. I have a hard time with that.
But he's a loyal friend. Sometimes, you don't choose
Is
who
he,
you
or is he
fall in
just
love
using
with.
this as an excuse to stay in one place and to not grow?
Who, Shaun or
Yes,
Ed?
Shaun. I mean, Ed's just clearly never going to be anything else other than what he is, unless somebody really gives him the boot and he has to scramble and make a living, which it probably won't happen. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's not very funny.
No, it's
but when Ed comes out with these things that are intended to be funny, but they're really just kind of vulgar and gross, that's just sort of to cement the fact that he's just sort of, not pulling his weight.
Well, he does threaten to kill Dabs here when he's pointing a gun at Barbara. And so I do think that there is a strong emotional bond between, Ed and Shaun.
We're coming to get you, Barbara.
I love that line. It's so good.
And how Ed, the only thing that makes Ed perk up through the whole movie is Shaun's mom for some reason.
Yeah, he's really
He
excited
does
about
seem to like
making
Shaun's
dirty jokes.
mom.
Yeah, he has this weird attraction towards her.
But also, again, it's something that it was funny in the era, is because I had, it absolutely is. But I had a friend. I had a friend who we would go out and we would talk, and then someone would bring up my mom, and he would be completely inappropriately amorous towards the idea of my mom. My mom wasn't there, and it was like, I was like, oh yeah, no, my mom feels good, and he'd be like, oh yeah, she does. And it was just a joke that went back and forth between us. And so it was your mom jokes when you could use them both derogatorily and also supportively. It was entertaining.
But it's just so much fun to talk about this movie because Shaun has a job, so he's able to support his friend, but he's not going anywhere in this job. He's manager, but he's never going to get beyond that.
He's not even manager.
Ed, well, oh yeah, that's right. It feels like he was manager because the manager wasn't there that day.
Both the manager and also the assistant manager's name is Ash. And again, one of those references that is sort of laid down on the sly.
Well, I like cat catching. We're coming to get you, Barbara, because I have to admit that went over my head. So, and of course, that's the famous line from Night of the Living Dead, very early on in the film too.
Yeah,
oh, for sure.
And Liz's new boyfriend here, it's like, I guess she just needed somebody to help with rent because he's.
You think he's all
just
wet? He's the wettest boyfriend ever.
Yeah,
well, he's not Liz's boyfriend.
Yeah,
okay,
he's Diane's boyfriend, but it is
he's the fact that she would
he's
rather
Liz's
listen to
ex.
this guy, and she's like, and he's so like anytime he tries to assert himself, it just he collapses like a deck of cards.
and he's so good at playing such an ass. But I really love this actor,
Dylan Moran.
Dylan Moran, yes.
And Lucy Davis.
I always hated this character,
Lucy Davis is
but
always
he's
wonderful.
so good at playing a character that I don't like.
Yeah, he's a total drip.
Sorry, it's been a long time.
Terrible to say.
No, but you're okay, but you're right about something. You're not wrong in terms of I don't know if he was ever actually with Liz. I just know that
Oh, I think
he
that
he was
he's an
rejected.
ex.
He was rejected. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
explicitly stated that he was an ex, but he was rejected by her.
Yes.
And
It's like in the Pride and Prejudice when Mr. Collins is like, "Come stay with me and see what you're missing out on," and that's kind of what he's doing with Liz out here. Come see his life with Diane, and it's like you're not making the impression you think you're making.
And Diane realizes that she's the second girl, and so she owns it.
Want to give a shout out to Suzanne? Hey, Suzanne.
Oh, Suzanne's here. Okay, I haven't looked at the chat in a minute. I really just wanted to watch the movie. I'm just kidding. Hello, Suzanne. Oh, Suzanne's here. Okay, who else is here? Penny. Oh, you said hi to Penny before. Penny, been shopping. Just popped in before I have to leave again. Show running on laptop. I really appreciate that you do that. Not sure if this has been said. This film is part of the Cornetto trilogy. Yes, it has been.
We know.
It just makes me. You're just making me hungry for ice cream. That's all you're doing. Maybe strawberry ice cream. Friendship conquers all. Such an uplifting tale. Yeah, that is this. When they call it a romantic comedy, it's not just romance between Liz and Shaun and everybody, but also between Shaun and Ed. It's a romance also. Let's see. There we go. Snuffles. A failed actress. Well, we don't really get too much into that, how she's a failed actress, but that's a definition.
Oh, there's a whole scene where she's coaching them.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
She's telling everybody, okay, look at how the zombies work. We got to imitate the zombies. And I love how that's used later in another movie called Zombieland, where Bill Murray pretends to be a zombie in order to avoid being eaten by them. But then it also causes his demise, and his last words are, "My only regret."
Maybe Garfield.
Garfield. Yes. You promised you'd come on holiday with me. Yeah, right. Okay. So she's explaining all the reasons why she's breaking up with him. Her life is not moving forward. She wants to move forward. He seems to be fine where he is, but then I guess maybe he's starting to see that it's not so great. So he wants to get his shit together too. Eventually. I mean, it takes a while before he manifests that thought, but that's how the two of them interact in terms of how they're seeing their lives. And there's the Winchester Tavern sign. Pig snacks. Wonder if that's like chicharron pig skin.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, here's the clip that Scotty 37 asked for. I like to ask for clips sometimes before we play it. I'd like to say hello to Stark of Iron. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Getting ready for work. Let me see. Oh, okay, yes. Afternoon, still catching some Z's. Big video work to do. Yes, I knew it. Yes, it's Friday. Big video work for a lot of people. Ice cream, but only when I'm frightened. They should have put that on the poster, actually. Yes. That's cute. It's too hot to go to the fridge to get some. If I had some in the fridge, I'd be eating it right now. Moran was so good in Black Books. I agree completely. Black Books is so great, and that is definitely where I fell in love with him. So that is such a wonderful TV show. Completely hilarious. I do like the deadpan humor and the sarcasm, and so that's in Black Books, and that's here too.
Yeah, Black Books has to be one of my favorite British humor shows ever.
It kind of made me upset that British shows only have like 6 episodes per season or series. I want more. So here's the clip, even though hey, Scotty's not here for his own clip. Oh, I'll play it. I've been working on a room for my new adopted squidling, Timmy B. Stark. Squidling. Ooh. Oh, that's what that's for. That's really cool. Well, it looks like you're putting a lot of work into the lighting and everything. It looks really cool. And who doesn't like calamari? I like it fried.
I'll have a Bloody Mary first thing. Or a bite of the king's head, a couple of the little princess. Stagger back in. Back at the bath.
I remember the first time I had a Bloody Mary and being very disappointed.
Oh, see, I really like Bloody Marys, but I mean, it has to have all the spices and the celery and.
Yeah, see, the first time I had one, I didn't know what it was. Like, and they're like, "Oh, it's just tomato juice." I'm like, "That's it." I'm like, I thought it sounded so much more exotic and better than.
It really is. It is more. It should be more exotic than that. You need pepper and lime and Tabasco sauce. You need spices. If it's just tomato sauce,
Tabasco.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tabasco really pulls it together for me.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's not a Bloody Mary. It's just tomato sauce, like you're saying. Like I can have tomato soup anytime.
Yeah.
I've tried so many times to enjoy Bloody Marys or Bloody Caesars, and I just can't get past. I just don't like tomato juice. I don't like clamato. It's not my jam.
I don't like clamato either, but I'm fine with you. You've had it seasoned and everything.
Oh yeah, but not my jam.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, there's also a flatulence joke that I thought, oh man, that's not really funny, but you know what? It gets paid off. So that's another thing where something gets repeated that actually works later when it doesn't work for me at first.
Well, I think I was 26 when this came out, and I had friends. Hey, LDG is here. I still have friends, but LDG is here. Happy birthday. Congratulations on another orbit.
Yes.
Except, of course, happy birthday. Surely the best of times.
Star Trek.
I like the idea that Spock doesn't understand that concept very well. It's really funny.
It is. Yes, LDG. Happy birthday. I'm so glad you noticed he's here. Hey, everyone.
So I'm sorry to say, but I'm gonna have to step aside. I think I'm having some kind of reaction to something I ate a little while ago, so I'm sweating profusely and feeling very poorly.
No, I'm so sorry you feel that way.
No, it'll pass. But if I feel better in a while, I might stop back in. I have the link. But if not, have a great show, and I'll see everyone later.
Oh, feel better. Don't turn into a zombie now.
I will try. I'll try to eat a cornetto. Maybe that'll help. Even though I don't have one, but I do have Snickers ice cream, so I have that.
You're set.
Okay.
Feel better, sir. Thank you for being
Snickers.
here.
Oh, I love it.
Later.
Okay, yes, thank you for being here.
Good
See you again. Gosh, I
Meanwhile-
really love ice cream in the form of chocolate bars. Those are just so good. I hope that helps him.
But I did.
Work
This
sounds
is
like slight food poisoning. Hope you feel better. Yes, agreed.
a bit of underdone potato.
I see you brought your anti-derivative drill. Yeah, you remember, Tony. It will pass. Raising.
Well, let's hope.
So like you guys were saying before, this was inspired by movies like Night of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, 1968.
Mhm.
I think that was actually my very first zombie movie because I saw it for free.
That's good. It should be. Because
It was
is the first zombie movie, the one that really matters, of the modern genre.
and then Dawn of the Dead, which of course is what this movie is named after. And one I haven't seen is Raising Arizona.
It's not a zombie movie.
Yeah, I know, but why was it? Why is that inspired? Why is there an inspiration from that? If you know the movie, do you see how it might be inspired? Because it's listed.
Is it?
Yeah, it's listed as like also the birds, which I can see a little bit more in terms of the
Yeah, like in terms of the
anxiety.
birds with the anxiety of the zombies being outside and everybody sort of steeling themselves against the oncoming threat. But when it comes to Raising Arizona, I don't know. Collection of loved ones, the affection of the characters towards one another, even in adversity. But when it comes to direct references, Kat. Just do you see any comparison or similarity to Raising Arizona?
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, so I can't
Fair
recall off the top of my head. But it does certainly have a lot in common with, the whole holding up in one location type genre. 'Cause that's basically what they do for the whole third act, hiding out inside the Winchester.
Okay, there you go. I think you guys got it. It must have to do with the characterization and the relationships and how they work, how they decide to do things.
Yeah.
And of course, let's see. Then Scotty wanted these lines, this clip, because it predicts. It's a foreshadowing for the entire movie. So let's see.
Did you already play them?
Oh, yeah, but I think I messed up the last one because.
Oh no.
Let's see.
Have a Bloody Mary first thing. Have a bite of the king's head, couple of the stagger back here. Have a bite of the king's head, couple of the little princess. Stagger back here. Back at the bar.
Back at the bar for shots, which is exactly it is the foreshadowing of the plot of the film, which absolutely blew me away.
Yes, that's right. Because the Bloody Mary, because the first zombie that Shaun and Ed interact is named Mary, and
Bite of the king's head is we go over to Phil's and he's been bitten. And then we go and then over to the little darling to get a couple. And so we do collect David, Diane, and Liz. And then they do end up staggering back to the Winchester. And at which point they use the rifle for shots. And I was just like, that is brilliant. That absolutely melted my suspension of disbelief for absolutely everything. I was like, this is great. This is fantastic. And you learn it along the way because it just sounds like, yeah, you got dumped. Let's just keep drinking. We'll get drunk in the morning. We'll go to these other pubs and then we'll call it a day.
Kimberly's here, the Pink Ranger.
Hey, Kimberly.
So that's, but yes, it was brilliant because it's not just to explain the entire plot of the movie, but to make his friend feel better about being dumped.
Well, and it's something that's also implied in The World's End. Each pub along The World's End is related to a development in the plot, and so while it's a joke, it also informs the story. Oh, I love this. Surrounded by women, he's a bigamist. And then later on, when we do see Snake Hips, he is literally surrounded by women who are disemboweling him, as zombies are wont to do.
Oh, right. Most of the background characters that you see in this movie, you see them later as zombies. But they don't use that. They try not to use that word in this movie, but I use it because I'm not in the movie.
Well, even at the end, and that's something because I knew it was going to be sort of a running gag on this particular conversation saying, we don't say the Z word, but at the end, the television says, zombies from hell. And
yes,
so
and they just accept it at the end.
Yes.
Oh,
this is pretty great.
Well, here they don't recognize this as a zombie, nor they also see a couple people who they think are making out, but they're actually zombified.
Dubba 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 dubba. Dubba 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 dubba. I can just sing along with this movie incredibly.
Well, you can. You're loud. You can sing.
I know, but it's like, it's 4 in the fucking morning. It's Saturday. No, it's not. It's fucking Sunday.
Edgar Wright's got a tremendous musicality. He's just so hip in the songs that he picks for his films. Incredible soundtracks.
Absolutely. The music is pretty great. Not just the music, but also the original score. And just the horror theme of when the monsters are wandering about.
Well, and not only that, but you've also, even before the threat of, like, we know it's called Shaun of the Dead, we know the zombies are coming, but there's already sort of adversity stacked up against Shaun. And I like how it would be interesting to see how this story would have played out without the apocalypse, without the zombie apocalypse.
Would there be a story? Would it just be Shaun continuing his life the way before without being jostled?
Yes. And I've had a couple of breakups in my life, and after seeing this movie, I was just like, oh, all I need is a zombie apocalypse to prove it too. But I'd probably get eaten. So let's be real.
Well, who knows? A tense situation in which your survival instincts kick in, you never know what you're capable of until you're forced into it. And of course, Pete is overly aggressive because he's turning, but it's completely unnoticed because it's a normal reaction to not getting enough sleep.
See, and this transition is incredible. After Shaun is berated by Pete and he wanders in, makes this list, go round mums, get Liz back, sort life out, and then he just sort of collapses on a kitchen chair. And then there's a from night to day with a boom, and it goes perfectly. And I just, again, it's a flourish. It's a stylistic choice by Edgar Wright that I think really, really pays off and works visually, just to see the passage of time without, I don't know, a dissolve or sort of a change of, it's really, really an exquisite shot.
Yeah, I definitely relate to it because I often make lists myself.
I like how he has the most innocuous, like, go get mom on the top and then get Liz back, which is like a much harder thing to do. And like, it's, oh yeah, this is today's to-do list. I like that.
Yeah. Sort
just
life
like a
out.
grocery list. These are just things that have to happen.
I will do this by noon.
The clarity of the drunken stupor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope you're happy, Jill, says Nix. I went and got some ice cream. Oh, I'm gonna have to after
Hey!
this.
Cornettos?
Nix, we're all
Yeah.
happy you have ice cream.
Yeah, well, my kids won't complain. Stark of Iron says, I will have my after party show as usual. After his lordship at the Hollow Earth. Yes, after Doomcock, he will have his after show. And he'll tell everybody about his adventures in Knoxville, Tennessee, to the convention. The convention that Tony went to. Very cool.
Ah. I've been to a convention in Knoxville before. It was lovely.
You are
I've only
on
been
point
to
about.
Bowling Green.
Oh, I have been to Knoxville a little bit. It was fun. Hard Rock Cafe and country music singers and things.
Oh, Knoxville,
Yeah.
Tennessee. Sorry, I was thinking about. Is it Knoxville, Tennessee?
It's Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, I was talking about Kentucky. My mistake.
There's probably more than one Knoxville.
Oh,
It's one
I
of
was
those
just
things like
assuming.
Springfield. There's one in every state.
Oh, that makes sense. I went to Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah. You're on point about effective, practical domestic planning, Tony. Ground rules are key. By this point, you've seen the entire movie, the plot unfold, the world set, characters are prepped. All that remains is to be played out. Not a dull moment, in my opinion. Nix, you're really great at reviewing this movie.
Yeah, Nix,
That might be arguable.
How do you mean?
Well, and Franco needs a cup of tea.
The resolution of the whole movie kind of drops. The bottom drops out.
Oh,
Who, Scott? The bottom drops.
Nick says,
I guess
Scotty,
we'll get
who
there.
and how badly did that someone break your heart that you need a couple of zombie apocalypses to reprove yourself? Somebody has to ask the hard questions. Well, Nix, a couple times my heart's been broken, which shows that I'm capable of emotion. And yeah.
It shows that you were capable of emotion. Once you've had
Yes.
your heart cracked a couple of times, you're just completely numb. That's been my experience.
Yeah, but sometimes you meet somebody and you're emotionally like sapio, intellectually connected, and you don't necessarily need the entire world to be rising from the dead to make yourself feel. But yeah, there's a scar tissue. There's a scar tissue for sure, Tiger.
Okay. Callus.
This sequence is just so brilliant.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, this is the repeat of the scene we already saw, except now the zombie apocalypse is in full swing, and Shaun has no clue. He's hungover.
Yes. Foggy.
I love that parallel, though, at the beginning, that life, it's really not that different, and you can't really fault him too much for not seeing it. Because it's like, this is what he sees every day anyway.
Yeah, no, he just thinks this is a bum asking for money, not a somebody who wants to eat him.
And these are slow zombies, not fast zombies.
Which there is a great reference to at the end when they're sort of recapping the 6 months later. And it's like the idea that the virus was instituted by monkeys being tested on has been wildly debunked. And that was sort of like a punch in the chops to 28 Days Later, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, that is kind of funny because that was more of a science fiction kind of movie, and this movie completely avoids telling you how these people were infected. But came back from the dead.
Well, and I think that the second time he does go to the the corner shop, he does hear in foreign language. I don't know the language that it was, but it's talking about a satellite that had been destroyed, which released a substance into the atmosphere, which is sort of related to Dawn of the Dead as a reference, but you wouldn't be able to pick it up unless you spoke the language. I love the flipping of the channels where the story is explained, but you don't really get it because he's flipping channels, but like we as the audience get it. And it's like, murdered alive.
Oh, so they did say what it might be. They did have
they reference it a couple times. Yeah. Like even when he goes to the corner shop at the very beginning and he looks at the papers and it says stuff about, there's reference to space or like a spacecraft re-entering the atmosphere. There's stuff on the newspaper that says this is what could be causing this, and then he's distracted by the owner of the corner shop who's like, "Hello, my friend." And so there are distractions, and again, as you mentioned, he's sort of off in his own world.
Right, he's just going about his day, just thinking it's like every other day. And you're right. Here it is. The radio broadcast said the American deep space probe Omega unexpectedly re-entered Earth's atmosphere over England and broke apart over da da da. And that's it. That's the closest we get in English. I didn't get that foreign language one. That's a new one for me. Thank you. On TV, Krishna Guru Murthy. He's still a newsreader on Channel 4. And that's the cool thing. If you're from England, you can actually get these references a little better, because I didn't know who that Trisha girl was who had the talk show.
Oh yeah. No, I still don't.
Apparently she's real. I mean,
Okay.
not just an actor, but actually has a show like that.
But I have become familiar with Krishnan just through some of his, let's say, not most celebrated interviews.
Gavin Blackburn says it's the Andromeda strain. No, I haven't had the pleasure of seeing his interviews. Maybe I should.
The Andromeda strains, actually, is that a Michael Crichton? That's a Michael Crichton.
Yes, his first one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're strong, Jill. I'm following you. Well, it's great to see you, Kimberly. And you, even if I am strong, I will. I don't think I'd go into a zombie apocalypse alone. I'd need some friends. Knoxville, Georgia, Iowa, Maryland, Pennsylvania. Snortopoopus Cuber on it as a reference to how there are multiple Knoxvilles. Yes.
I tried to find Fort Knoxville, but it's not a thing.
Fort Knoxville.
Yeah, Trisha was a real show. It was awful.
Kind of like Ricky Lake.
I don't know. I didn't.
Do you go to bed with it?
She did. She did. She claimed she did.
Apparently.
Somehow. Tiger Stripes. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. I hope things do recover in terms of that.
Kimberly says, "Who's Trisha?" Well, around these parts, we call her Trish the Dish, and she would say nobody calls her that.
All right. So there's Mary. Mary.
There's something about her. And again, in terms of returning actresses in the Cornetto trilogy, she does show up in the support group for Gary King at the beginning of The World's End, which makes me wonder if she was if it took pride. You know what? There's no continuity in the Cornetto trilogy. Can I just say that right now? Yeah. Because one has the zombie apocalypse and one has the world's end. She dies in this one.
And you have Nick Frost and Simon Pegg playing different characters in each one.
Sure. I just wanted to address it and sort of poke that out.
I do love this scene. This is great. I love that Ed's priority is getting a picture of this. It's like, yeah, he's a deadbeat, but you wouldn't think it would go to those lengths. But yes, it does.
Well, but and the build up to it is when she wants a cuddle, and so they think that she's just wasted trying to force herself intimately upon Shaun, and it's not until he runs away that Shaun realizes that there's something more than just the effects of alcohol going on.
Yes, and some of these characters, well, Shaun has his work clothes on, But the
Yeah.
first thing he does is take off his name tag. And Ed's uniform is the I got wood shirt, I guess.
I got wood.
He's a goof.
But just so, like, this is it is sort of a normal way to discover that there is a zombie outbreak. And it's just like, oh no, there's a wasted lady in the backyard. Or in the garden, there's a girl. There's a girl in the garden. In the garden, there's a girl. I love that delivery, just front to back. It's a palindrome. Love it.
Well, you know things aren't right when someone is impaled and they get up from it.
Or no, it's quite awful. You don't want to see that. Although, and that was something, I think the last addition to the movie, or one of the last additions to the movie, was when Mary falls on that sort of umbrella holder, and you see Ed sort of wind the film in the disposable camera, and they didn't have the sound, and so no one understood what was going on, and then they had to go back, and I think it was the last thing that they added in. It was an ADR just to hear the sound of the rolling of the film in the camera, which no one would get today unless they lived through it, unless you know.
Yeah,
And,
unless you've used disposable cameras before, you won't recognize where that sound is from. Yes.
Well, and as Tiger said, there were CRTVs, there were phone booths, answering machines. Like, Ed is the only one who really has a cell phone, and the only reason he has a cell phone is because he's a drug dealer. Sort of.
He never has any supply. He's not a very good drug dealer.
He apparently has wood, though.
He does have wood.
He has wood,
and he does a mean Clyde.
Yeah, but how much money can you make impersonating an orangutan?
I don't know. Why don't we ask some YouTubers?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, let's see what's happening there.
Like, I make good money interpreting.
Oh, he does not like Krishnan.
Well, he was controversial in terms of an interview with Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. And then also he was adversarial with Quentin Tarantino because for some reason the guy was a pussy, pardon the term, but he didn't like violence, and so was his name Jan? No, it wasn't Jan. No, it was a different interview. I don't remember the specifics of it, but I do know that he shat the bed. Booger!
Oh, I heard. Oh, Booger. Hello, Booger 414. And also, Rabid Robot says, so I heard the two main actors of Shaun of the Dead were supposed to wipe their face with Jez Regs, but accidentally ate the Jez Regs the first scene. What's a Jez Reg?
I don't know.
Okay, British people, help me. What is a Jez Reg?
Could it be a jizz rag?
Oh, well, ew. Why would
yeah, I know.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
No, I don't know. I don't know what a jizz rag is, so I just went the phonetic way. I'm not going to say it again, just so you know.
Okay, good. They're separate movies, says Gavin Blackburn, the Cornetto trilogy. Yes, like how Goodfellas and Casino share cast and subject, but are not connected.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Gavin. Like the Dollars trilogy, of course. Oh, and also, I'd like to sort of support Kimberly with Shannon Doherty is in heaven, so we lost another talented actress. Yes, and a long battle with medical complications of the cancer. And I know that a lot of people knew her from 90210, but I will always favor her as Renee from Mallrats. And some people from Charmed. A lot of people like her from Charmed. But yes, absolutely, she was adored by many, and I'm relieved that she has peace, but also saddened that we don't get her light anymore.
Also,
And
Bob Newhart. Yeah.
but he was how, and that's it. It is sort of a weird comparison, is that Bob
Mhm.
Newhart was 94,
Right.
and
There's a
Shannon
difference.
Doherty was 54, and so, but
3, I think. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
53.
53, and
Yeah,
so it is. I don't know. I am, my heart sinks whenever a legend dies, and maybe it's callous of me, but the older they are, the more I see them as living up to their legacy. And while there are younger people who pass away, I'm just like, there could have been a couple more. There could have been a comeback. There could have been something that sort of celebrated them, or even in the case of Shannon Doherty, had she been more up for it, I would have loved to go get a copy of Mallrats signed by Shannon Doherty, or even the planned Mallrats sequel that Kevin Smith has been teasing for years. But unfortunately, not a thing.
Yeah, well, at this point, Mallrats sequel. That,
It would be interesting considering how Kevin Smith has gone on a lot about the state of American malls today.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
too.
Most of them are abandoned.
it's-
Well, some of them are abandoned. Some of them exist. We have one mall in our town that's completely abandoned. There are some great YouTube videos about Sunrise Mall in Corpus Christi if you want to look them up. And yeah,
There's a mall also called Sunrise down the road from me, and we use it as the fact that if it's still open, we use that as a litmus test for how well the economy's going. Because the mall has always sucked, and inexplicably, it doesn't go out of business.
well, there you go. Well, we have another mall that does great.
Darth Maul.
It's very strange. One survived, and the other, and for some reason they decided to put these malls right next to each other. So of course one died. Burger 414 says kind of like the way Hitchhiker's trilogy has 5 parts, but still a trilogy.
Well, and that, yeah, there, and I, going back to the US universe, after Clerks, Mallrats, and Chasing Amy, I think they came out with, with Dogma, and they said it was the Universe trilogy, and it was like, but this is the 4th movie, and Kevin Smith was like, so what?
Yeah. Okay. So what? Hello to Daniel's Hot Topics.
Hey, Daniel.
It's number 1. One number. Ed's busy. Okay. Right.
Yeah. And this is I like these sort of brief moments where, and it happens twice that I can remember, maybe 3, and it's like, are they still out there? And it's just a casual open, draw the blinds or draw the drapes, close it, and then Ed just turns around, yes. And then there's another one where I love the.
Yes, it also happens with the letterbox
jump scare.
Yeah, it's a lot of revelation humor. But I don't know what to really.
You know it's coming, and it's still disturbing.
It's disturbing. It's also hilarious the way they cut it.
Well, and as you said, Tiger, in terms of the rule of 3, in terms of comedy, because the first time we have Pete who comes up and says, "You do realize that the door was open again last night," and then when he gets mad.
Yeah.
He goes, and the front door is open again. And then this is the payoff. It's like, no, we left the front door open.
Yep, left the front door open, and some guy who wandered away from his wedding is
He was in the corner shop the first time Shaun went. Like, he was on his way to the wedding yesterday. And then this is where he shows back up again. And he was actually an actor who did. He was I don't know what he was without an arm. So one of his arms, that actor was missing, and that is how they do it. And I love the reaction to it. He's like, "Oh my God, he's got an arm off." But it also keeping with the trope of like Dawn of the Dead, where we don't even know where these people came from. The only thing we know about their history is what they're wearing as they are zombies. And I thought that was an outstanding touch. And then this, where you do take a beat and Ed sort of deals with the fact that he just, from his perspective, it's the first thing he's ever really killed. And he has to sort of take a break and breathe it out. And then, yeah, the man says, removing the head or destroying the brain. I
never
repeat.
thought I'd have to say that on TV.
Yeah. Oh, it's just, how else would you get your news? And then there are two of them. They go, yeah, the basket of stuff.
Yeah, trying to figure out the right weapons to kill the zombies with when they're just, like you said, he's never killed anybody before. And so he's not practiced in this, so he's just throwing objects at the zombies until they accidentally come across a good weapon, which are, records. And Shaun is not too happy if you throw the wrong record.
Oh, I love that. He just goes siphoning through the records.
My favorite, I don't even know what album it is, where he's like, I like it. It's kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, we can get rid of this one. And it's like, no, that's one of my favorites.
I remember they repeated that joke in Pirate Radio with the Nick Frost character as well, going through the record. Nice. He's like, no, that's a bad record. And he tosses it out when the boat is sinking. He was great, though. Mm-hmm.
Second Coming is the one that he liked. No, Timothy Dalton, James Bond himself was in Hot Buzz, says Daniel Subtopics.
That's true.
Kind of was the one that kind of sent the SQ verse on its ear, which is hard considering Chase and Amy so unlike the first two, says Burger Form 4, in terms of, I guess, Kevin Smith movies. And I'd love a sequel for each one in the trilogy, but I can't trust them nowadays to make it proper or even good. Yeah. Well, things like that are turning around a bit, so hopefully we can look forward to sequels again one day. Captain Not Kennedy says, I've been trying not to think about all the people dying lately, but now that you mention it. Best scene ever, the record sorting. Yes.
I love it.
Yes, probably my biggest laughs are in this scene.
Oh, you know what? The first real sort of audible chortle that I gave was when, and you said you'd quit smoking, and then he throws them away and he's like, I don't need them. And I laughed at that. And I was just like, yeah.
And that pays off again later.
It does.
She digs them out of the garbage and carries them around with her.
Yes.
You sneaky monkey.
But this is so fantastic, and this is the only thing that really made it so that I couldn't say it was the best Shaun of the Dead Halloween costume, is that I tried to get myself a cricket bat. And I still want to get a cricket bat just because of Shaun of the Dead, but they're expensive. So I never got it. But I love that.
If you need it, you need it.
Well, I'm busy buying other things that I'll never use in a zombie apocalypse. And so, no, but I do love how it sort of alternates in the beating.
You display it on the wall in between Halloweens.
Oh, okay. Or I could, become a professional cricket player, which is possible because apparently there's not much effort involved.
No, that's impossible. Nobody really knows the rules for cricket.
Well, cricketers.
Yeah,
but I do love.
There's no end to the rules. That's the joke.
Oh, well, no end to the game. It takes a weekend. They have lunch. But I do love the alternate.
Attackers. It's
displayed by their
attackers.
Yeah, you got red on you.
Love the alternating
whack, 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 and then they get in unison, and then they're just both like. It's not shown. It's not graphic. The worst you get is a little bit of red spray on them, and which is paid off here. But it's so, I don't know. It's violent. You sort of squirm a little bit because of how violent it is without actually showing it.
There's no actual body horror. Thank God.
Yeah. There's no real violence.
Well, sometimes yeah, but your imagination sometimes fills it in a more powerful way.
There's the A24 type of body horror these days is just, oh my God, it's a nightmare that never ends once you've seen it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so grateful that they don't go there here.
I just saw Maxine, where Maxine, Mia Goth, does put her stiletto heel down on a man's testicles. And it's very graphic.
I'll just say one word, Midsommar, which I do not recommend at all.
I haven't seen it, but I have a very good friend of mine who loves Florence Pugh.
The atmosphere, the cinematography, and the setting are great, but the characters are just not.
And where? What? Where are the characters not great?
Midsommar.
None of the characters in Midsommar, like they're all, like they have Will Poulter in there trying to play the dumb American tourist, which is just too much and completely ruins the. Every time he says something stupid, it's like this character's too unbelievably stupid and doesn't belong in this movie. And Florence Pugh.
Oh, is that supposed to be the Shakespeare play? Or?
No, it's the one where the.
No, it's basically a remake of Wicker Man, only set in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
But I don't recommend it. It's too horrible and it's too horrific. It's just.
Bleh.
I mean, the gore factor in some of it's pretty good. It's just that I just didn't care about any of the characters
horror.
in that movie.
True body horror. Very
Gotcha.
realistic.
Understand.
And when they hit somebody in the head with a cricket bat, you get to see everything in living
You get to hear it and see it? Okay.
The works.
Well, Captain Affinity says, Edgar Wright, genius writer of HBO's Generation Kill, also died last week. I didn't know about that. And it was a self-deletion. And like Franco said, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. He was even fun on Twitter. Tragic loss. Never heard of him, but sympathies to his family. Yes. So that's I haven't heard of him either, but apparently there's something I need to watch on HBO called Generation Kill. You got red on you by their attackers. So
there's the cornetto.
Yes, that was the cornetto. Ed was eating the strawberry ice cream. And they're trying to see if Pete is still, whether he's turned or not. He might be one of them, but they need his car. Fortunately, Pete keeps his keys, in plain sight, so they're able to use his car. Oh, I did like there was a bit of humor here where Shaun's calling his mom, asking if to see if she's okay, and the mom said they've been getting a little bitey. Let me see the script. The script is good.
That's right. They've been getting. I forgot about that. Yeah, getting bitey.
Yeah. Well, they were a bit bitey, and so they're afraid she's been bitten. So and they're really tense, and the music matches it perfectly. Where Shaun says, "Mom, have you been bitten?" And then she says, no, but Philip has. The music drops. Everybody's relaxed now. Calm. Oh, okay. That's okay if Philip's been bitten. And so they know they need to, rescue her, get her. Because it won't be long until Phil changes. We may have to kill my stepdad. Very nonchalant, very relaxed, casual kind of idea.
Perfection.
I can't remember. Isn't Ed excited at the prospect of having to kill Phil? Or is that Shaun?
I think they're both okay with it. They're both fine with it. This is like, oh, okay. This is gonna be okay. We have to kill him. Let's do it. I'm not sure which, but this is a great sequence where they're coming up with their plan. It always ends in relaxing with the cup of tea until they come up with the final plan. And well, Liz dumped.
This is a kind of
Shaun.
a common trope in caper films too, where they play out the caper. They show it to you as if it would go perfectly, and then of course nothing does.
Right, of course.
The previous, display to kind of compare it to for the comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good giveaway in a movie like that. If it's going to go according to plan, then they don't tell you much. If it doesn't, then they will tell you everything.
At the same time, it's also a romantic trope of, okay, going to rescue my ex-girlfriend to win her back. It works. And I think they're almost too. Where they're going to go to the Winchester instead? Oh no, they're going to change it after this one. Because they almost choose to come back to Shaun's apartment, which is a bad idea. Because it's not safe in his apartment. But they don't just show the perfect plan just once. They show it 4 times. And so this is happens.
That, the Z word, don't say.
A nice cold pint and wait for all this to blow over.
God, it's hot here, says Frankel Walker. 28C. 28C in Fahrenheit is 82.4.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But I have heard that before. People in England think that 80s is super, super hot.
Oh, he's in England. Okay, I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, I've watched Black Books, and there was an episode where everybody was sweating, and they were like, "Oh, this weather is too hot," and it was like the 80s. Like,
yeah, people in Humboldt County will think that like 75, 78 is hot, and I'm like, no. Like, just stop.
Yeah. Well, it's like how I think 50 is cold.
Yeah, it can be cold. I wouldn't sit outside in 50.
Danielle says, I love that pub. It's warm and friendly. It does seem that way. Look how happy they are. It's like a postcard ending. Definitely a fantasy. That they can just run away, hide from the zombies, and do nothing, and everything will be fine. That's the dream.
I don't get the fried gold comment at all.
I don't get it either, but I love it.
As an expression.
I think it's funny.
Is it something to be like all that in a bag of chips? I don't know. It's got to be. It's very, very British.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
I can hear the sound as it zips over my head.
I guess it's a good way to hide your gold if it's fried. It just looks like, some old rotten food. And then, oh, there's actually gold under here.
Still feel like it's probably a Chips reference.
Oh, okay. That probably makes sense. French fries.
Just, yeah.
Ooh,
Total guess.
that's a good guess.
Franco should speak up at this
Well, see,
point
if we
about it.
had, right, Franco. Franco's our British expert today. Have you ever used the term fried gold, Franco? It's 32°C in my room now and 40-ish outside. Oh my God, it's 40-ish C? That is over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's going to be 102 here today and 106 on Tuesday.
No, thank you.
Yep.
Finity says it's not potato related. Darn. We thought we had something going on here. I was agreeing. I was agreeing with that. Well, oh well.
That, the Z word, don't say it.
And oh, I thought I got. Oh well, the letterbox. The letterbox is another good revelation humor. Or are there any zombies? No, I don't see any. And then there are. But just saying it doesn't make any sense. You have to see it the way it's cut. It's hilarious. So Ed is probably a worse driver than Captain Kirk in terms of how Captain Kirk drove in the episode.
Well, I think the idea is that Ed deliberately wants to crash the car because he wants to take the Jag.
Oh, he does, and he does do that. That's where they get to eventually. But no, Ed's just a bad driver. I'm sorry. He's really reckless.
Oh.
Although the people who are doing the stunts are really good drivers.
Kinetic car chases.
Yes. Kinetic.
Yes,
well,
you can watch the first 6 minutes of Baby Driver.
Well, if he's
on
a good
YouTube,
driver,
and I recommend it to everybody.
Yes.
He's a
Perfection of
reckless.
Edgar Wright.
He's a reckless driver then.
I think Katz nailed it. I don't think Ed's the innocent that you think he is. I think Ed realizes that he's a giant freeloading user. Just my gut.
But it's also, it's the nature of relationships. When you find someone who will enable you, some people who will baby you.
Some people lean in, and they lean in hard. Good call.
Yeah. But the emotional connection between Ed and Shaun, I think, is the emotional core of the film. And Shaun's desire, like the progression of his character, to sort of engage with someone who is going to actually be supportive and letting go of the past, which is Ed.
No fighting, you two. Even though John thinks no. Well, I'm not good. I'm gonna have to fight him. He's a zombie.
I ran it under a cold tap.
Okay. Oh, right. I took them all to the tip, and she was gonna take them to the jumble, and I'm like, "What's a jumble and what's a tip? Are they like pawn shops or second-hand stores?"
Oh, I know what a jumble is. A jumble is a charity sale. It's usually arranged by a church or a school.
Oh, thank you so much. What about a tip? Is that a pawn shop?
No, it's a dumpster.
Ah, good call.
Oh, okay.
Because you tip it in.
I
guess.
Fair enough. That works for me. Because when I saw that, where's my British dictionary?
It's, you know what? It's really called a dictionary because it's English.
Yeah, that's the real English. So Shaun tries to leave the stepdad behind because that would make it easy. But no, you didn't what? Were
I
you
hope
gonna
you
say
didn't
something?
call the doctor. I told you. I ran it under a cold tap. I love that. I just love that line because I even remember, like, as a kid, going over
Oh,
to
I
my
just thought.
grandmother's house and having a cut. And the first thing that, like, no band-aids, no hospitals. It's just like, okay, let's just run it under a cold tap.
Well, just to be on the safe side. And they're talking about we had our jabs and we went to the Isle of Wight. Okay, so they had their vaccinations, so they should be fine.
Well, and that's, yeah, exactly. It's not going to be tetanus, Barbara.
Oh. And then there's
And
tea,
I
of
then,
love
course.
both Bill Nighy and Penelope Wilton so much. God, I
yes.
just adore them
Well, and again,
as actors.
both were in Doctor Who.
She was the PM.
Yes.
Wasn't
Doesn't she
she?
look old? Or doesn't she look tired?
Penelope Wilton, I think, just always has a bit of a shadows under her eyes, but I'm sure she was lovely as a younger woman. She's just a different kind of lovely now.
And her acting in this film is so, it does remind me of my own mother, just in terms of trying to be accommodating to everyone around. And then when she does flare her anger, it is obvious, like in this exact scene where Shaun is trying to talk Barbara out of bringing Philip, and then the last card that he tries to play is like, he touched me, and then she just like slams down the spoon, looks at him, and he's like, never happened, I made that up.
I shouldn't have said that. He apologizes immediately. Well, yes, she is very accommodating. She was going to make sandwiches, of course, that never comes up. But I say that only to entice Nick's further, because he says, "Great, all this food talk, and now I'm hungry, and already had ice cream." Certainly don't microwave your gold. That would be very silly. Yeah, that's right, because it's a very low burning temperature.
Well, you don't put metal in, even precious metals, in the microwave.
Oh,
but I
even
do
a
love
little.
it. Not even a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah. No,
Don't try and charge your iPhone
I've
in a microwave.
I've seen the experience of putting just a teacup with a little gold foiling on it into a microwave. It doesn't go well.
Well, but gold does have a high melting point, boiling point, so you could boil the gold and
It's about
probably
the
be
reflection.
okay.
You can boil the gold, you can fry the gold, but don't microwave your gold, because it is about the reflection of the microwaves.
Mm-hmm. Right, you don't want to cause an explosion.
Unless you do, in which case, more power to you.
That's true. Right. Maybe you need to destroy some zombies, and all you have is a microwave and a bar of gold. Sprinkle Walker says, I'm not sure what would happen apart from the gold getting hot. Stick a fried egg on top of the gold. Okay.
Yeah, don't microwave Goldschlager. Is it actually gold flakes in Goldschlager, or am I just an idiot?
It is.
Wait.
I mean, weren't you a bartender? You should know.
Well, no, but I never read the ingredients. I just knew that it was cinnamon that got you effed up.
Them.
I know, but I don't know if that's actual gold.
I think it is.
All right. Well, then let's get a prospector.
You're right about the trash. Sprinkle Walker confirms the tip is where you take your non-food rubbish. Computers, TVs. It's a council-run
Yes, but what about the
recycling
slice of
place.
fried gold? Did Franco ever answer that?
Oh, the slice of fried gold?
Yes. Still don't get that
no.
one.
No, he I don't know. Gavin says he stole our language and subverted it. Cars run of petrol, not gas. And it's a pavement, not a sidewalk. Actually, we use pavement too.
But we mean it, but we don't mean it. We don't use it to mean sidewalk.
True, we don't.
Right. It's a boot. See, I can say that as a Canadian. It's a boot, not a trunk.
And it's a bonnet, not a hood.
That's right.
No, it's definitely a hood.
Not David Copperfield.
And it's
If you want
it's
to
a
get your wizards
snog,
right.
not a kiss.
That's right.
It's a baker's opposite, not a bakery. Okay, now
Big
we're
shout out to
getting into
Eugene
the
Bird.
Harry
Hello,
Potter.
Eugene.
Hi, Eugene. Fried gold? It's such a classic turn of phrase. I still don't get it.
Yeah, no, it is one of the most creative ways to say awesome that I've ever heard in my life. And for probably a couple of years after, how's that for a slice of fried gold? Would be something.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Love that thing. Because what's better than gold? Well, fry it. It's tastier.
Yes, slice of fried gold implies that everything is better when it's fried.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you, Frank.
has a lot in common with stuff. You like to fry things. How much? All right. So this is that scene you just explained.
Which again, even as an offhanded, I know this frustration with speaking to my mother, where she's been like, I thought you didn't like peanuts on your ice cream sundaes. And it's like, I got over that in 1997. And so when I saw this, and it was like your mom remembering something from your youth and being like, oh no, Shaun likes sugar in his tea. And then Shaun getting frustrated, and it's like, I haven't done that since 1982. And it's like, it's the initial memory that stays with you, not the changes in it. And so there's still affection from Barbara, and Shaun takes it as a, you don't remember anything, even though I still love you. And I like that realistic depiction of familiarity.
Well, and do you think at the end of the movie, when he starts to take sugar in his tea again, is that like some kind of a memorial to his mother?
I don't know. I don't think he does it all the time, because even Liz says, ooh, adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's definitely some sort of regression.
Well, you gotta have sugar in the tea, unless it's green tea.
I don't like sugar in
tiny
tea
bit
or
of tea.
coffee.
I mean, just a tiny bit of sugar.
No, thank you. Nope.
I need it also.
Nope.
I'm eating from a sugar bowl with a spoon right now.
Tea to me just tastes kind of like hot water without flavor.
I am a junkie. Yes, I'm a junkie with a monkey.
I have coffee with my sugar.
I'm not satisfied until the spoon is standing straight up. I love this sort of sad Charlie Brown walk that Shaun gives with the dragging the cricket bat behind him. What's he doing there? It got complicated.
Well, yeah, because he was all amped up to whack Phil, and he couldn't do it. But...
And then, oh yeah, and that's the thing, is that you do have these interpersonal relationships and going on, and then all of a sudden the reality of the actual horde of zombies is present, and it's like, oh no, we forgot.
Yeah, it doesn't let you dwell on the drama of, oh, Phil didn't give Shaun that great of a childhood.
And again, calling back to the initial, fine, you're not going to let me in, I'm going to climb up. And then he doesn't, and then he calls back in. And this time, because the situation demands it, he does rise to the situation, because he's got to save Liz.
I can't remember. Did they ever say what happened to Shaun's real father?
He died when Shaun was 8.
I think he passed.
Okay.
Yes, he passed away when he was 8.
I'm definitely going to watch this right when the stream is over with, because I need to see this movie again.
Oh, and you're in for a treat, Kat. Like, it is, again, it's an hour and 46, and it just swells. It makes you laugh. It gets you excited. And there are points where it is emotionally, it's an emotional gut punch.
And this scene reminds me that we have a poll, and I want to see how that poll's doing. Let's see what's going on with it. But
I am currently dancing on the poll.
I went in just to vote for the apartment specifically.
Oh, nice. Okay, in a minute I'm gonna ask you why. My great grandmother used to eat sugar sandwiches, just bread, butter, and sugar. I heard
God
about that
bless
with
her. That sounds
marshmallow.
great.
My grandfather would cut up snickerdoodles and put them in his salads.
Salad?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
Wow.
I would put sugar on ice cream, and not necessarily sugar sandwiches, but it was mayonnaise sandwiches, and then there would be a sprinkle of sugar on top of the mayonnaise.
Interesting. I've never tried any of that. The only sugar
Don't.
I've had in my salad is fruit. Like I've had maybe a salad with strawberries and oranges.
You should
Yeah.
dump some Splenda.
Hmm.
Well,
Well, there you are.
Gavin's Graham, that sounds like real depression fare.
With some Canadian maple syrup, breakfast gold.
What you do is you get 2 Eggo waffles, and then you just put the ice cream, sugar, and maple syrup in between the 2 waffles, and then eat it like a sandwich.
What are snickerdoodles? Please, someone explain.
Cookie,
So they're like
with the
cookies.
emphasis on cinnamon.
Yeah.
And a cookie would be a biscuit, where you come from.
Yes, that's true. Oh my goodness, this is a good day.
It's hard to interpret
I love
this.
language. I love the juxtaposition of Americans loving this movie and the different language interchanging. It's fun for me. And so, yes, we do have a poll. It's over here in the YouTube chat. It says, was Shaun right? Which location would you choose to hide out at during the zombie apocalypse? So far, the Winchester pub is winning with 46%. But second place is the grocery store. Third place is the government building. And fourth place is Liz's apartment with only 12%. So
that's much the best place to be. Much.
And wherever those other lookalikes all went to, because they, made it out.
Exactly. They never ask them. I would have been like, hey, where are you guys going? But
Yeah,
no, they don't even ask.
Yeah, I think that might have been part of the joke as well. It's like, oh, great. Like she judges him because he says he's going to the Winchester.
Well, in that, and I think that we haven't sort of met up with Yvonne again, played by the great Jessica Stevenson, is that this movie was supposed to be, at least in commentary, it's Yvonne and her group is the successful one, and Shaun and his group is the less successful one, and Yvonne comes back to actually rescue Liz and Shaun. And it was just so, like, the juxtaposition of seeing almost identical groups, because they do say Yvonne and Shaun used to date, and then they broke up, and then Shaun met Liz. But it is so incredible that this is the movie. Shaun of the Dead is about the losers, as opposed to Yvonne showing up with the military at the end.
Oh, Yvonne's very together. She's the person that Shaun is supposed to be at this point in his life.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, like with Liz and Shaun, what Liz wants Shaun to be, he finally understands and finally steps up to the challenge. He rises to it, and that's what sort of solidifies their relationship. I wouldn't recommend the zombie apocalypse to get through a relationship, but it certainly doesn't hurt, apparently, in this fiction.
Well, it hurts a few people. A few people don't make it out.
Yeah, but fuck David.
David,
well, yeah. And the stepdad and the mom. Actually, Shaun's not very good at saving people.
Well, but that's also
true.
The dad got infected before he got there, right?
Yes, that's true.
But
he was going to flip anyway.
Yeah, he does get mauled more seriously at his house.
Well, what's great about this movie is that it's It's really great at making me scared, anxious, and tense during the horror scenes. And usually I don't take horror that seriously. So for this movie to get me like that is pretty great. The juxtaposition of the humor makes it work for me. It makes the spookiness work even better. And I guess the music and everything, which
Well, and
was
not only
inspired by
that,
other horror.
like this is something where you really get to know the characters, as opposed to them just being like, do you want to do premarital sex and smoke marijuana, and then you're obviously going to die. Even at the end when Diane is chasing after David, it's because she loves David. Like the characterization, you do feel
Yes.
that.
Yes, and yeah, the characters are more deep, three-dimensional. Definitely agree with that. And there is that trope in a lot of horror where, oh, look at this person, they're an asshole, they should die. They have that with David, but everybody else has, redeeming quality.
But even with that, even when David runs away, you Harry Potter looking motherfucker, when he runs away, it's because he knows that it's not running into a wave of the undead is probably preferable to living with the scorn. He tries to shoot Shaun.
Oh, for the promotion of this movie, they actually did have zombies wandering around London, and then they just herded them into a truck or something. So that was an interesting kind of promotion for the movie. Hey, at any point, did you want to tell your Halloween story, or when did you want to do that?
We'll do it when we get to Don't Stop Me Now.
Okay, gotcha. I was wondering when that was happening. This movie keeps making me forget it's a horror movie. Exactly. That's why I'm lulled in. Oh, this is just a romantic comedy. Not
Yeah, it's like a romantic comedy with zombies.
exactly.
Well, a parody and all that, sort of.
Well, it is. It as Jill mentioned right off the hop, it is a rom-com, a rom-zom-com, a zom rom-com, and
Zom rom-com.
Yeah, and so it is. But instead of like, there's no one who is absolutely freaking out. It looks like obstacles as opposed to an existential dread that is inevitably coming. Like, you do hope that these people are going to get out of it. And even with the bad decisions that they make and we lose characters, I think that with Philip, it's so interesting and emotionally satisfying to me that we are introduced to Philip by the movie, and Shaun doesn't like Philip. He has full intentions to go and, kill him. And then in the final moments, Phil isn't like, he's not redeemed, but his intentions, his emotional self.
What? He's completely redeemed.
Well,
What's
no,
wrong
no,
with
but
you?
no, I'm saying he is redeemed. He is redeemed, but he's not redeemed because of oh no, like it could have been so easy for Barbara to be the one who says, how can you be insensitive? How can you do all this? But Phil himself redeems by finally being like aware of his own demise and saying, it's not easy being a father, Shaun. I just wanted you to have a life. I wanted you to have a mentor, and I knew you could always do it. And then he expires, and it is so touching, especially through the performance of Simon Pegg. Like,
Yes, that line, I just wanted you to be strong and not give up because you lost your dad. So that's why he treated him the way he did.
And so in the middle of something, which is Ed is having fun picking off zombies with the Jag, and like the entire thing, it is character driven. I think it was Franco early up in the chat said, when you have the writing, and I get frustrated when people say the writing, because I'm like, what are you talking about? Dialogue, characterization, story, plot? What do you got? And I think it is the characterization of everyone. Everyone is a fully realized character in this film. You care about each of them individually as opposed to them being tropes.
Okay. Right.
And
yeah, they're
yet,
individuals.
There's something about Edgar Wright's style, particularly in this film, where you don't invest in as much in everybody and break your heart over it because it is a comedy, and they are tropes, as he demonstrates when they have the line of them making it to their way to the Winchester and they pass a line of people exactly like them in exactly the same order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like doppelgangers, definitely.
Yes.
Well, and that's also, I think that is a nod to Spaced, because you have Tim and Daisy meeting each other, crossing, Tim and Daisy being Simon Pegg and Jessica Stevenson. They were the stars of Spaced, and then seeing not only like just weird brief cameos, because you have Tamsin Greig, you got Martin Freeman. Oh, there's someone else in there that I don't know his name.
Matt Lucas bringing up the rear.
Yep. Like there's so much there.
Yes,
there is
everybody's somebody. It's really remarkable.
Yeah, and it's just a brief, but it's also like this is almost a family affair of who's who of that era of. Like Shaun of the Dead, I would say, is the graduating class of that era of British television.
Of 2004.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got the wrong GIF going on. Why is there Spaceman?
I just thought we were excited that there was a moon landing. I didn't really.
Oh, that's true. Yes. So tomorrow is, in fact, the 55th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. It just so happens that that's not why I had this GIF up, because I have this GIF for all mankind. But I'm always ready now to celebrate NASA and accomplishments and things with it. And tomorrow, 55. Maybe.
Well, there's only one downside.
Wow.
What's that?
I can't drive 55. It's very fast.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you should hire Ed. He has no problem going over the speed limit.
Watch the leather.
And FKHC 2005 is here. Hello, FKHC 2005.
Hey,
now
Fuck.
David Jones will die and turn into a zombie. David Jones?
Like from the Monkees?
That's Nai's character in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, my mistake.
Bill doesn't need redemption. Shaun is finally aware of his father. In my opinion, Shaun redeems himself and Phil and his mother's eyes. Yeah, because Shaun rejected Phil as a father figure until that moment.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it, Nix.
Nix, I agree with you. It isn't a matter of Phil doesn't redeem himself in the eyes, or no, Phil doesn't redeem himself, but he does in the eyes of Shaun. And that, maybe it's a conflict. Maybe I could be reading it somewhat incorrectly, but I do appreciate that Phil finally finds a place in Shaun's heart.
Yes, biscuits and cookies are legit 3 different things, even though you said biscuits, and cookies.
You're a biscuit.
You're a cookie.
Thanks, lady.
I'm going to get French toast, coffee, and fried cold.
Dude, yes. Hello. I would like French toast, a coffee, and a shot of Goldschlager.
Oh, writing involves several disciplines and talents. Nice, Scotty, and absolutely true.
It is a frustration of mine just when people sort of fall back. See, there he is. There's the guy. He's surrounded by women.
Oh, see, You do have great eyes. I did not.
You do.
I did
Yeah,
not
I
make.
don't recognize him at all as that
And then they
guy.
show
But it
like,
is.
and I was like, who is that guy?
But
Why are we paying attention? And
it's
then
a
they show his
boy in the
boobs.
back, but it's hard call.
Well, maybe I
Short
like ladies with
haircuts.
short hair.
That's definitely
But-
a woman in front and a woman in back.
But they do show his boots, like with his capped toes.
No, I think that's him. It's the sideys that are the giveaway, and the mustache and the stash.
And there you go. I wish they would have shown his boots, then I would know better.
They did.
They did? Okay. I didn't see them.
And
Okay.
it was a brief, again, and something that Edgar Wright is so good at is that he does those touchstone shots. And if you've been paying attention, and I'm not trying to diminish
yes, you
anyone's
are.
viewing
You go ahead,
experience.
though.
No, come on, lady. And so then,
Don't you
but
call
it
me a
is,
lady.
well, okay, Tiger. And so, yeah, no, but he does give those visual references. And if it is something that you pick up on, you pick up on it. And if you don't, it doesn't diminish the story. There's still a guy being eaten by a zombie.
That's how I saw the movie. That doesn't diminish anything, really. It only adds to it if you notice it.
God, I love Jessica Stevenson so much.
Then you should get her name right.
Well, her maiden name was Hines.
No, that's her married name.
Oh, did I swap it? Did I get it wrong?
It's all right. It is confusing.
Well, no, I should know the lady who's married, who I adore. But I think she's a brilliant comedic actress. She was also on Doctor Who. I think she was on Downton Abbey. But I do appreciate her so very, very much.
And I appreciate Martin Freeman, who played a hobbit in The Hobbit. He played Bilbo Baggins, and he was also on Sherlock, where he played Watson.
Yes. And he was Arthur Dent.
Of course, yeah, in the movie, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Tamsin Greig, who I adore. I don't know the second gentleman.
Oh, that's true.
He was in Spaced.
Oh.
I know he was in Spaced. But I don't know the actor's name. And then Yvonne's mom, not sure of. But I didn't know that was Matt Lucas in the back.
I didn't know until I was checking the cast list.
Cool.
I didn't recognize him, but probably because of the hair.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also in Doctor Who.
They're probably all in Doctor Who. I feel like who isn't in Doctor Who?
There are two kinds of people in the UK. There are people who have served in the military, and there are people who have been on Doctor Who.
Sounds right.
Noel Fielding. Thank you, Gavin.
Yeah, thanks. And Reese Shearsmith is in the glasses.
Noel Fielding or Reese Smith. Oh, it's going to be an arm wrestle in the chat. You guys figure it out. I'm not looking it up.
Such a British name.
Shearsmith.
Well, no, it wasn't. There wasn't no contention. Reese Smith is in the glasses, and the fourth one is the other one. Noel Fielding. Noel. Oh, wait a minute. She's in Black Books too. That's the girl from Black Books also, isn't she?
Yes.
Didn't notice that until right now.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, no, Kat, do some research.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, no, she's the lady. She's the lady who works in the shop next to the bookstore.
She looks like their warrior too. She's the person who's really banging zombies.
I don't know. Yvonne's got a 4-iron. She's got a golf club.
Yes, and this guy, you don't see much blood on his little umbrella. Maybe he uses the other end.
I think Affinity is referencing.
Yeah, I don't think that's Noel. That's not Noel Fielding. No.
No! Isn't that the guy who is like, "Don't look behind the black door," from the IT crowd?
Maybe, let's see. I'm checking out the cast here. Ooh, it doesn't. Oh, I can't find it. But that's not Noel Fielding.
Tamsin Gregg. Yes, and that's the girl from Black Books. Okay, and that's Tamsin Gregg, as said in the chat by Franco Walker. So I just recognized her face, but thank you, Franco, for correcting that.
And Affinity says that.
Welcome to Wrong Guesses. No, it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
welcome to
We'll figure this
Wrong
out
Guesses.
together.
We're playing Where's Waldo.
It's a game. We're playing. Yeah, we're playing. Who's the English actor?
Who are the British people? Name the white guy or girl. But yeah, I do want to. I do have a little bit of impression, even though I know it's incorrect. Infinity says Reese's line in Spaced is the best single line of comedy delivery ever. And if I may, I know it's incorrect, but I'm going to say it. He's like, "Oh, da, into wa." That is, I think that is what Infinity is referring to. It is hilarious. It is in the Battle Bots episode of Spaced. And again, if you haven't seen Spaced, you know, your joy level will increase if you enjoy this film.
I'm definitely going to check it out. I love Edgar Wright.
Oh, after you're done WKRP, this is great.
Yes, yep.
And it's only like 20 episodes. You're fine. It's easy peasy.
They've got to jump 20 fences down.
Yes. I love it. What's wrong? Never taking a shortcut?
So I think the biggest thought when I saw this scene is I really love the trampoline, and if I could be a good enough mom for my son to want to save me by jumping over a fence using a trampoline, then I will know that I have done a good job.
This is so great with the tether ball.
Yeah, right. They're using the children's playground equipment.
Mm-hmm. And this is the thing. This is almost like this is the breather of the movie before we get to the Winchester. I love the character interactions. This is where you find out that no matter what's going on, David isn't going to pay attention, but also I want to say Daisy because she's from The Office. But Lucy Davis,
all right,
Diane, and she's like, no, we really have to start doing this. And like all of the characters are so good. We're still dealing with the shrinking violet that is Barbara. A beautiful performance.
Oh, I thought you were going to say David.
No, David is not a shrinking violet. He's just shut the fuck up, Four Eyes, at which point he takes off his glasses. Like everything about this, I enjoy the interactions of everyone. Ed is still great, except for sucking, because it's like anytime you guys want to jump in, we didn't want to cramp your style.
Mm-hmm. Well, and all these zombie extras also come from Spaced. So the zombies spent a week on the set. I guess they had to figure out how to be zombies.
Well, and it's such a weird moment to introduce Diane's like she's a teacher with a penchant for drama, and she's trying to teach everybody how to be a zombie, and she's sort of flexing her skills. Everyone has skills in this except for David. Fuck David. I love Dylan Moran, but the character is awful.
David is. I love Dylan Moran, but he's so good at playing a terrible character.
Is that a makeup test for?
And this is Simon Pegg helping out with the make. Yeah, in 2003. Whee! Whoa.
Well, and that was one of the things, because there was such reverence towards Romero in Shaun of the Dead, that when Land of the Dead came out a couple years later, Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg were invited to sort of be zombies in that movie, and it's something where the reverence and the love that they had for the genre in which they were not even spoofing, but sort of being like reverential towards, they opened up a world with love, because they didn't want to make a joke of the zombies. They didn't want to make it so that it was just like a slapstick Seltzer and Freeberg piece of bullshit. And it opened up a world, because it wasn't about subverting the expectations. It was about taking those expectations and making it a different story unto itself. It was such creativity. It was so good. Like the movie itself, and then the recognition that it got from other creatives.
So does anybody hear breaks in Scotty's speech, or is that just me? Because
I could be. Let me check.
Be having internet issues.
I was hearing breaks from you. Maybe I'll leave and I'll come back.
Well, things go a little warbly for me, but
Here,
I just
Scotty.
think that's my connection.
Although,
but no, I wasn't having any trouble with Scotty specifically.
I still need food. Okay, I think I'm having issues then. Scotty's audio is okay. Jill, you are roboting a bit. Okay, so it's me. Thank you, Nix. Oh boy, yeah. There were some people messing with phone lines, so there might be a problem. Well, if anybody needs to reset, it might be me. Let me know if I'm still roboting. Am I roboting right now?
No.
I sound good. I haven't heard anything wrong with anybody.
Oh, okay. Well, there was definitely an issue on my end. Red Dwarf, 12 seasons and a TV movie, less than 100 episodes in total. Yeah, because there are only 6 episodes per season, so, or I guess there's more than that. Less than 100. No, about 6 probably is correct, because that's still under 100. If you're going to do Google searches or using tab in Chrome, don't. It'll mess with the StreamYard. Oh no, I can't stream without that, Nix. I have to have all my tabs. How am I going to research on the fly? I don't know everything. Like, there are some people who are encyclopedias. I must use the library computer. Yeah, otherwise I won't know what's going on. But I will close a couple of tabs. My internet should be amazing, but I think someone's messing with it. Has Scotty left his OnlyFans tab open? I'm not sure, but so they are impersonating zombies to get through the crowd. And I wondered, would this really work? Wouldn't the zombies be able to smell that you're not them?
Depends on which zombie verse you're in.
I suppose so.
That's a good point.
But Walking Dead, I think the dead can definitely smell you. I think.
That's what I feel. That's what seems logical to me.
Yeah.
But right, we don't have any idea really what affected these zombies. And there's a phone call for I don't know why people are calling Ed for weed when he never has any.
Because sometimes he does.
He just seems like the type of guy who would have it.
Oh, just on occasion he'll have some
I
extra.
think he deals. I think it's acknowledged that Ed deals. That's his income.
He's not very successful. He doesn't
He's
keep
not
his supply
motivated to
up.
be successful. He's totally codependent, like Scotty said.
Yeah, he's
Dependent.
enabled
He's
him
the
to.
dependent person who's dependent on the codependent. Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I got this. Yes, agreed. Agreed with that. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Come on, Papa. I think that's for me. And so they finally make it to the bar, but then David panics and breaks the window, forcing Shaun to go around back where the zombies follow him to the back door. Using himself as bait. I don't know. Like, how believable is that he could get through all those zombies and not be hurt? Just hero armor.
Yeah.
And then David is complaining that Shaun's idea of a romantic date is the same as an impenetrable fortress. But why not? And making fun of the and his Shaun's mom still calls him his childhood name every once in a while, Pickle, which is what Edgar Wright's mom actually called him.
Really?
Pickle.
Wow.
Yeah. Not pickles like LDG. Some people call LDG pickles. And I hope LGG is having a great birthday. There's the back door. Oh, you know what? I haven't played this video. This is about the scene at the beginning of the movie, but I wanted to play it at some point earlier, and I didn't play it, so I want to play it now.
Morning when Shaun goes to the shops, oblivious to the fact that there's a zombie apocalypse happening. This was actually the first shot of the entire movie that we did, and we really wanted to start with a very complicated shot. I think we maybe did about 8 to 10 takes of this. It was a very challenging shot to start with, but I felt it was a good thing to do something really ambitious on the first day of the shoot, which involved the whole crew, and also kind of like signal to everybody, people making the movie, this is how we mean to go on, where this is what the movie's gonna be. When we were doing the location scout for this shot, my director of photography, David Dunlap, he said to me, this shot's gonna get cut out of the movie. And I said, it's gonna get cut out of the movie? Why? He goes, you'll never use this shot in its entirety. I bet you any money it's gonna get cut out. And so I was kind of so annoyed about that comment that basically I went away with both my production designer and Simon Pegg, and I think we like tripled the detail in the shot. So all of these things, like you've seen a guy washing that car window, later you see him as a zombie. So we just added all of these details, like having Simon like trip over twice. He does it in the earlier version of the shot, he does it again. We have other gags like this jogger who you see earlier in the film running past, and now you see him running away in terror. This is actually Chris Dickens, the editor of the movie, making his cameo. I just didn't want this shot to be cut out, so I just kind of crammed it full of as much like sight gags and payoffs as possible. You also see earlier in the film, you see this road sweeper, and now you see his kind of discarded cart. You can't see this very well, but actually, this is Bub's Pizza, which is a reference to the amazing zombie in Day of the Dead, played by Howard Sherman. And when you're making a movie, like, if you have to make up businesses, it's always like, well, this is a great way to cram in lots of, like, film references. So this was our kind of, like, little tribute to George Romero's Day of the Dead. I always like the idea that Shaun takes a Diet Coke there because this is the point where he's been dumped by his girlfriend and probably decided to get his shit together, and his one concession to maybe being a grown-up is stop drinking full-fat Coke. Simon Pegg is such an immensely skilled comic actor that he can fake a slip on some blood, which is not actually there. If you're trying to pick holes in the movie, when the shot continues, you can't see any blood on the floor. But I always thought Simon, like, sort of like faking a slip, which is not easy to do, is really, really great. So when you're shooting a shot like this, there's a whole army of PAs who are trying to stop people from walking into the shot and try and hold traffic. And some takes were ruined by people right at the end of the shot, like a drunk guy walked through at the end and went, "Ah, fuck yourselves," and like ruined an otherwise perfectly good take. It's worth pointing out that the reason that he eats the strawberry cornetto is when I was at art college and I was very hungover, I had a hankering for some ice cream in the morning, and it really helped my hangover. And after that, for a very long time, the cornetto became my hangover cure. I don't know if there's any medical basis in that idea, but I like to believe that it's true. This was another late-breaking addition to the scene when the DP said that we were going to cut the shot out of the movie. He's going to walk past this door. So let's put a dead body on the floor. So then we come full circle, like, this guy is like a sort of a homeless guy who's asked Shaun for money earlier in the film. Shaun just assumes that he's still asking for money, but essentially he wants to kind of eat him. You can also see in the background the groom, who is basically going to be the zombie that actually gets into their house in a later scene. And then the shot ends exactly as it started, with him kind of pulling the gate. And that was the first slate of the first day of shooting on Shaun of the Dead.
Brilliant.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It is cool. I wish I could have a video like that for every scene in this movie. I would watch all of it.
Oh, for sure.
But we're closing in on the latter part of the movie where the rest of the plot carries out pretty much in the Winchester bar. And David calls Ed his boyfriend, and it kind of parallels when people called Phil his dad. He's not my dad. He's my stepdad. He's not my boyfriend. And Ed has a beer for him. It's it's kind of warm. Thanks, babe. I thought it was cute because they do love each other, but they're just best friends.
Oh, would anyone like a peanut? That's a Princess Bride shout.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's an
I
Andrew
wouldn't
the
have caught that
Giant
one.
line.
And they're gonna see what's on TV. There's nothing but logos on TV. Everybody's gone. We get a MTV logo. Let's see what other ones. He turns on the light, revealing that the zombies did indeed follow him. He thought he lost him, but he didn't lose him, of course. And the bartender's coming through that door. He'll be there in a moment for the Queen. See, we need Scotty back because he's supposed to tell a story when we get to Queen singing "Don't Stop Me Now." So I gotta find him. Even though it was my internet that was crapping out, he's the one who left. Of course, Ed plays with the what is that? The slot machine of some sort?
Yeah, it's some kind of slot machine. It's odd, but interesting.
But very loud, and lets all the zombies know where they are from all around. So that's good. So they've got to kill the bartender, and then they got to kill the queen, which I guess is funnier for a
It's an
British
Aliens
person.
reference.
Yeah. Well, nuke her from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. And what about the rifle? So the whole movie, this was a gag throughout the whole movie, where Ed says that the bartender. Oh, I can't remember the bartender's name, but he's got connections with the mob, and so that's a real rifle and everything.
And it's
Yeah,
always loaded.
I know it's true because Big Al said so. Shaun disbelieves Big Al because Big Al thinks that dogs cannot look up. And so that's how he discredits this notion that this rifle can work. And it's a obviously, since the name of the bar is Winchester, it's a Winchester rifle 66. Do I know anything about guns? No, I looked it up. So, our college hangover. Ah, good times. Hello, Pleasant Valley Picker CA. How are you doing today? Hopefully, you don't have a hangover.
There's a massive spook house, a haunted house, a ghost house called the Winchester in California.
Yeah, I've been there. Like,
I've been to the Winchester too.
Yeah.
And the family, I guess, invented the rifle.
Yeah, the Winchester
so that was
rifle.
the source of their fortune, their family fortune.
She was superstitious when she went.
Oh, okay.
That was the source of all her hauntings. You're being haunted by all the ghosts of all the people killed by Winchester rifles.
Yes, I went during the day, so except for one cold spot, I didn't experience any phenomena.
Yeah, there's nothing really. It's just some crap that they play up. It's just most of when you watch the specials about it, there's only a few actually weird aspects of the house. It wasn't as bonkers as I thought it was going to be. It's just big, but the grounds are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do something very quickly. Can you Papa Curator is asking a question. Have you ever heard the song Watching Scotty Grow? I have not.
Where did Scotty go?
I know. I need Scotty. This is the part where he's supposed to tell his Halloween story.
He's supposed to tell his story. He's been resetting. Maybe he's having trouble getting back in.
Oh no. I need to go find him. I will be back as soon as I can.
All right.
And could you guys talk about something?
Yeah.
Sure. We can vamp. Franco Walker. Would you like to read it, Kat?
Colin is also a good zombie movie. Low budget, English, all about a zombie who retains some of his humanity and keeps going to work. I have not heard of that.
That's interesting because I've never heard of that. Sounds good. What is it? There was the zombie movie with Schwarzenegger just a few years ago, where he's the father with the zombie daughter, and that also was like a name title, just one word
that's
that
right.
was someone's name.
Is it Maggie?
Yeah, that was.
I think
that sounds right. That was very good.
No, I didn't see that one.
He was surprisingly good in it.
Mm. That's a good one. My favorite zombie movie was Train to Busan.
I haven't seen that one yet. It looks kind of terrifying.
Yeah, it's like a thrilling, like zombies on a train. Like Die Hard on a train.
It's all on the train, right? It's a bottle movie. It's all just on the train.
Yeah, and it's like
it sounds fascinating.
Dealing with these different people trying to survive, and
and
it gets a bit surprising in terms of where it goes. But
darn, I can't wait. I got to finish the movie, so we've got to keep on going. There's there he is, just in time. I added him, but he also added him, and so This is also the same weapon used in Night of the Living Dead.
It's a Winchester.
Yeah, and so they're also trying to kill the queen. So this was the part where you said you wanted to
The
tell your story.
jukebox!
A jukebox, yes.
Not the actual queen, who also
Not the actual queen.
It's interesting because this is the first time that I've watched this movie since the queen passed away. And so it had a little bit more resonance. Kill the queen. What?
Right. Then that's what that line was going for all along.
Yes. Also, this is one of the best sequences. Like, I liked this movie when I saw it the first time. And then I fell in love with this movie when I saw the bartender get beaten to a pulp by 3 people with pool cues.
Yes, it's perfectly choreographed. Yes, rhythmically. For sure.
And again, even though I don't like the character of David, Dylan Moran does such a good job at being a little bit of a D-bag and then going in and not knowing how to work it.
I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be a douchebag.
Oh, you're going to say douche? Okay, well, we're saying douche. Great.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? It's a thing. People
It is
use
a thing. There is a bag of douche.
And there are darts. Oh, when he pulls the dart out of his head. Oh.
Hey, PvP, that is also something
Yeah, I'm
that
not so sure you could really survive that, but it is a movie.
I don't know, but I'm going to look it up right now.
But I love that that's
guy who got
Well,
that.
you have a story to tell, actually, Scotty.
Oh, and it is appropriate at this point. Actually, I'm going to wait until we do get the headband.
What?
We're going to get to the headband.
Well, there was that one famous guy who
the
got
queen stopped.
Railrod through his head. I can't remember his name in the 19th century.
Oh, yeah.
I
forget his name. There was
the railroad spike. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was also a guy with a nail gun with a nail in his head.
Yeah.
But there was a guy, it exploded and it went right through his noggin, and then he was never the same. He was a very upstanding member of his community up until the accident. And then when the accident happened, he turned into like, remember the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons? He was just like, blah, 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 blah. I don't like you, kind of thing. And it changed his personality forever. Is that what you're referring to, Kat?
No, this is a guy from the 19th century.
Yeah, same guy.
Famous, I don't know if that's what happened afterwards, but it's a famous case.
But I would like to know whether or not, it's always been a question of mine as well, Tiger, as to whether or not you could survive a dart to the noggin.
Yes, I would think you couldn't, but there are freak accidents where people survive impalements of their skull, and they do come out different people, as you were saying. And it's a fun reason to use your tie as a bandage.
Oh, well, would you like to hear my story?
Please.
Okay, so anyway, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I fell in love with this movie so very, very much that I wanted to be Shaun for Halloween. And I got like the 4E electric name tag, Shaun. I had a friend, one of my best friends at the time was named Shaun. And so anyway, Halloween was on a Friday, but because of where I was living, Halloween was the entire weekend. So on the first night, I was dressed in pristine Shaun attire, tie, name tag, goatee, gelled hair. And then I went out with my friends, did multiple inebriates, some hallucinogenics, and I fell over. And I hit my head on the side on a wall. So anyway, I I knocked myself out, and there was a big cut on my head. And so blood was shooting onto my short-sleeved dress shirt. And went to the hospital and then went back to a Halloween party, but I looked like I had been, this. What is on screen right now, that is what I looked like. And so for the rest of Saturday night, there was another pub crawl that happened. And I did not change my clothes. I just did this. And of course, I, spritzed some Axe body spray to make myself smell better or worse. And I did the whole thing. Never had a gun, never had a cricket bat, but this was my weekend. And it was, as I've been told recently, should have been a signpost towards sobriety because the costume itself was such a hit. I was like, oh, inebriated clown, that's what I'll be. And so, yeah, I took the wrong lesson from that endeavor. But the entire weekend, as the weekend progressed, I got more and more Shaun of the Dead, and it was a ball. So anyway, that is my Halloween story from, I guess, 2005. And when we review Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I'll tell you about 2006.
Ooh, I haven't heard about that one.
Not yet, but it's also going to make you say, Scott, why didn't you stop drinking that time?
Well,
the year before, a concussion and staples in your head. And now, you got to work harder, Homer.
Yes, okay, but you do have a point. You did have the perfect Shaun of the Dead outfit when all was complete.
I suffered for my art.
I will say that if anybody wants to go to a convention and cosplay as Shaun of the Dead, I love the idea of showing up the first day really clean and then subsequent days just getting bloodier and dirtier and more raggedy. That's a really great idea.
Oh yeah, because that is awesome because there are
That's
3
hilarious.
days usually
and
in a
and you're still
convention.
recognizable, but you're going with the chronology of the film. That would be really hilarious.
Well, and I suppose, the moral of the story is you don't have to live it. As Laurence Olivier said to Dustin Hoffman during the Marathon Man, have you tried acting, my dear boy? So, but you could, this is a great weekend costume if you want to see the progression. My suggestion is bring an Ed or a Liz. I don't care which.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, conventions are always more fun with friends.
Yeah.
Rabid Robot says
you got to cosplay with a group of friends.
Oh, if you bring Ed, then Ed gets to be a zombie on the last day.
Yeah.
It was funny. My mom worked on the set of Shaun of the Dead, says Rabid Robots.
Thanks, Rabid.
She did the food. Hey, oh wow, craft services then, huh?
Twiggles?
And one day she brought peas. No, peas. Simon took her peas. He had her peas. Everyone was wondering how Simon got her peas.
What?
So funny.
I'm with you, Rabid Robots. Thank you. That is lovely.
How did he get the peas? Well, he went to the catering line.
I'd take his mom's peas.
Apparently that's what happened.
Yeah, we're peas.
Oh,
a golden shower, if you will.
What? That is okay.
See, peas. It's a never mind.
Oops, that's the wrong clip. Hold on. I have a clip.
All right, John. Last call at the bar.
As Bertrand Russell once said, the only thing that will redeem mankind is cooperation.
Yes.
Oh, it didn't.
Do you want to do it one more time?
Well, as Bertrand Russell once said, the only thing that will redeem mankind is cooperation.
What's the rest of it?
The rest of it is, was that on a beer mat?
Yeah. Guinness extra cold.
I won't say anything.
Thanks.
Yes. Nice. Bertrand Russell quote.
Yeah.
This movie is hilarious. I love it so much.
Well, and that's I think that's
butchered
part
it,
of the
but it's great.
I think it's part of the reason why it spoke to me so much is that there was a moment where when Liz says, "What was that?" and he's like, "Oh no, I got enough of a bar mat." And then they sort of kibitz about it, and it's like I've had that moment so many times with friends and lovers, and it's like, Scott, that was probably one of the most eloquent and profound things you've ever said. And it's like, yeah, Star Trek: The Next Generation, episode 6, season 4. And I love how what is the video game? What is the video game that they play?
I'm not sure. I think it says Dracula, but I think it's some kind of
No, I mean
gambling machine.
No, but I mean the video game with the guns at the beginning, like top left, reload, I'm on it.
Was it Resident Evil?
No, that was the inspiration from the Spaced episode. But no, I want to say it's Tekken, but I think Tekken's a fighting game. I forget what the game was that Ed is playing at the beginning of the movie. And I like how they use that dynamic to sort of explain how people can kind of shoot. It's like top left, 3 o'clock. And then the people who don't get it, it's like 11:30, 12:45. It's like, keep it simple. And that's why Ed and Shaun are such good friends. They can communicate so easily. They have a shorthand.
Yeah, they speak each other's language.
Don't point that gun at my mom. I cry every time I see this.
I do too. There are 2 big emotional moments coming up, and this one is one of them. Is Shaun having to kill his own mother? But
well, no, it's not your mom
anymore.
Well, and also it maybe not retroactively, because I know how some people in the chat feel about retcons, but it does make an explanation as to how David feels about Elizabeth, and even confirmed by Diane. And it's like, I know that you were hot for Liz, and then you got beat back, and I picked you up where you lay, and that I've come to terms with that. It's a very adult relationship dynamic that is heightened or exacerbated by the situation of the zombies.
Yes. But it kind of breaks David a bit, because he just he just flips out and throws himself to the zombies, more or less.
Well,
we don't do that. We don't say the Z word. Sorry.
We don't say the Z word. And this is one of my favorite, like at the end, the crescendo of this. Yes. Did I say Z word? I think I said it because they said Z word in here. They didn't say Z.
We said Z, but it should have been Z because of this.
Well, they say it in the movie. They say Z. And also, I don't know what band you've been listening to all these years, but it certainly isn't ZZ Top. So I stand corrected.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Rabid Robots needs to watch this movie again. No one works on the
Caravello?
Caravello? I'm not sure. It is.
I'm not.
Yes. Yeah.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
And poor Shaun, he's bleeding. Doing his hot topics, you're amazing. That's Simon Pegg, right? Yes, it is.
Oh, did we say hello to Pop Culture Curator?
We did. Hello, Pop Culture Curator. He might have arrived when you left. It wasn't even your internet; it was my internet. He thinks I'll like. He thinks I would like a song called "Watching Scotty Grow."
But you really wouldn't.
I don't know what it is.
It's a Maudlin Bobby Goldsboro song. But that is the title.
I think you'd like Scotty Doesn't Know Better. but I've
What
never
doesn't
heard
Scotty
watching
know?
Scotty grow. What doesn't Scotty know? So much.
Like Scotty doesn't know better, or Scotty doesn't know as better.
Yeah, Scotty doesn't
Either-
know better. Makes sense.
Yeah, no, that sounds like me. Well,
So,
and this is
would
so
patrons please be quiet and orderly when leaving the premise?
yes. Well, and this is also, I really appreciate this development with Diane. And she's like, maybe I'm not the one you should be apologizing to, which shows that she is even bigger than David. Like in terms of the empathy, his fight or flight went to leave. And he was like, okay, I'm going to apologize to the person who's on my side. And it's like, well, that's not the business. What you should be doing is, the guy who you just attempted to murder. And luckily, in an homage to Day of the Dead, one of the greatest disembowelments in all of zombie cinema history, this is incredible. And the only reason I prefer it, and I do prefer it, to Day of the Dead is because there is a point at when in Day of the Dead, something similar happens and they sound pitch the scream up. And I always found that a little too comical. While I found this, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my, they went there. And they did it so well and so terrifyingly and so specifically to the special effects of the genre that I was like, I did not expect that at all. And I think that it is actually more gruesome than the disemboweling from Day of the Dead. But I loved it. And then arms and legs are ripped off. And then Diane says, I'm coming to get you, David, in complete denial as to what has just happened, because she is holding his leg and then goes out into the horde of zombies just attempting retribution. It is intense, not for a comedy, for a zombie movie. And it gives this film such credibility.
I just found this whole sequence to be really funny.
Well, yeah, there's Pete.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Pete shows up, which is great. I was waiting for it at the very end when
Look who it is.
Well, it's look who it is. Fuck a doodle do. And then it's like, and then the delivery by Simon Pegg as Shaun in defense of Ed, played by Nick Frost, and he's like, Pete, I told you, leave him alone. And bang, shoots him right through the eye. You get to see the hole through the back of his head. It is so, like, it's metal. Actually, it's Queen.
And
because he's naked.
Oh, because he's naked. Well, yeah, because I think he turned while he's trying to take a shower.
Yes.
So they can't figure out a way out.
True.
So they decide that they're going to use the gun on themselves.
As you do. Again, going back to the mist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then eventually, after they have a whole, there's the big drama of the film. Then they realize there's an elevator. They don't have to die.
Tiger, did you find this to be sort of a Deus Ex Machina in terms of the elevator?
Oh, well, I imagine that there are elevators, and it is literally a machine, so sure.
Yeah, no, it makes sense because you got to haul alcohol up and down, and what better way than to use an elevator?
So it's not it's a rational part of the location. You believe that it happened.
I think very much so. I buy it.
Okay.
Just curious. Also that inside joke, because it is literally a machine. So sure.
And this is the part where the fart joke works for me. That didn't work for me at the beginning of the movie, but at the end it does.
Set up and payoff.
Because they're not laughing this time. They're crying. And so am I. This is the second time I cried this movie. Because of because of Shaun's character. It's just well done.
The performances really sell the love.
What were you saying?
Ed's kind of laughing at when he says it. He's like, "I'll stop saying it when you stop laughing."
Oh yeah, Ed's laughing, but Shaun's not laughing.
No, but he is, because it's what we assume is to be their final parting, and he's like, "I don't want this to be the last one."
Mm-hmm.
Even though he hates it, I'm not laughing.
Well, they say that they love him.
Yeah.
Everybody says that reminds me of you.
Well, and again, this is why it's sort of like there's stuff. They pile a lot of the incorrect stuff on Ed, and I think that's, it works with the character and it helps for the audience. We love Ed, but he's wrong. And if you want to live like a fucking animal, why don't you go live in the shed, you dumb fuck?
Oh, that's what happens.
No spoilers.
It's gonna. Well, we've got to get through this.
I don't think we're worried about spoilers when we're
okay.
And nobody is watching is gonna. They'll watch this afterwards if they haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is really funny.
It's pretty impossible to talk about this movie without talking about the whole movie. So we pretty much spoiled a ton of stuff at the beginning.
I'm just glad I got to say fuck 3 times in a row and everyone was concerned about spoilers. But yes, this is where they use the zombie word as a publicly accepted slur.
Yeah. Yes, now it's okay. Now that the crisis is over, you can look back on it and name the creatures as zombies.
Yes.
And we have the story of 10-year-old Enrique Ramirez, who fought off the reanimated corpses of his entire family.
On Zombies from Hell.
That's good.
I smell a prequel. Or a sequel.
Oh, and also I want to give a big shout out to Coldplay. And also that guy in the blue, that is Edgar Wright.
Oh.
In the zombie field. That's Edgar Wright.
Oh, there
that
you
was
go.
one
Okay.
of that was
Good
one of the
news.
tests to see how the zombies would look.
Six months on.
Coldplay.
You say later. You say,
Zombied.
Yeah, zombie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you've got to create businesses to deal with the aftermath of the.
Do you guys like Coldplay? Is there a good Coldplay song?
The
Hey, it's
charity
Raif's fault.
businesses.
I don't think that is a good Coldplay song. I don't think I like any Coldplay songs.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that
sure.
is an interesting idea at the end of the movie, though. The idea that everybody's like coexisting with zombies now.
Yes.
And oh yeah, we're fine using them as slave labor and all that. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, and this movie didn't last enough to see if they have to worry about zombie rights or anything like that.
It's funny because most zombie movies, it's not really about coexisting. It's about, oh my god, the apocalypse is going on. We got to kill as many as we can,
No, yeah, the regular zombie movie, got to kill them all.
Yeah.
There's a movie that has Billy Connolly in it, and it's called Fido, and it is Dylan Baker is in it, who played Kirk Connors in Spider-Man 2 and 3, and but it's Billy Connolly is a zombie, and it's post-zombie apocalypse, and he's like a pet. And it's sort of a Frankenstein story, but it's It's really quite entertaining if you want to see more of post-zombie apocalypse. But I love the fact that Ed and Shaun still get to play whatever video game they're playing.
Player 2 has entered the game.
Oh, you got to keep that for Calto.
Oh, you're right. It's perfect for Calto. You know what? That's great. Great idea. But also, I didn't play this one earlier.
Do you know, I don't think I've got it in me to shoot my flatmate, my mum, and my girlfriend all in the same evening.
Who said I took you back?
Yeah, I love that. I love that too. No, it's incredible. And then, obviously, this closes out with a song that you're going to have to wait for an hour and 46 minutes to hear for yourself. But yeah, they play Best Friend by Queen. Again, second Queen song in the film, which really...
Yeah, really. Well, but they're best friends. And it's the best friend song.
I think it's so lovely that Ed ends up in the shed, Liz lives in the house, and love conquers all. Like ultimately, love conquers all in this movie. It is a rom-com. Like the romance does win out over both the zombies and the comedy, because I think that it's full of heart. I feel more things than I do in your typical sort of chuckle fest.
Yeah, it seems like Liz is okay now with living with chilling out, as Ed would say.
That's what I find kind of sad about the ending. It's like, oh, everybody's looking down on Ed and oh, he's horrible, he's dragging you down, all this kind of crap. And at the end, they're just kind of hanging out, doing nothing, and they just keep him locked up in the shed. It's like,
but that's all he wanted to do.
It is all he wanted to do. He's really living his best life there.
Is he though? He's a zombie.
I feel bad. I feel worse for her.
He was before. You feel bad for Liz?
Yeah.
See, it's that Jessica Stevenson.
That she was trying to fight against at the beginning. She's just shell shocked. She's like, yes, better to stay at home and just go down to the pub.
But the world is dangerous.
Right, and that's what I'm saying though, is that she basically concedes to Ed's lifestyle, which is just sit around and do nothing.
Yes. And she's clearly the person who's tidying up.
No, but I disagree. I think that this is something where...
Of course you do.
Well, but okay, hear me out. This is a situation
when
where...
don't we have to hear you out? Do go on though.
Come on.
I have a microwave, and I will talk into it until the gold is fried.
I'm afraid to use it.
I was going to say microphone, but I skipped over it and whatever. But no, I do like this isn't about
analogy.
There has to be something between Liz and Shaun. Like there was not only this life and death, it is 6 months later.
Now there's unending trauma.
I don't think that there's trauma. I think that it is true connection and love. Even after dumped, he goes to rescue her. And
well, there's definitely love. I don't deny that part.
I think it's adorable. I think that the relationship between the two of them, we don't see what Shaun is doing for a living. Maybe he's elevated beyond his station in life. And like the 6 months that happened between the final shot of them leaving the Winchester and, what are we doing? What's the plan for today? Like, I think that there's a world of difference. And I give as much credit to Shaun as I do to Liz. If Liz didn't want to be with him, she already made that choice once. I don't think she'd do it again for kicks. So I think the whole thing is a love story. And then it's like, I'm going to pop out to the shed. All right. And then he goes out and it's like, okay, whatever. It's not like we have to feed him.
My actually only problem is that eventually Ed's going to get hungry and Shaun's might be on the menu.
Yeah, they never do mention what the zombies are fed, after
But
if they need to eat. I don't even know.
As a narrative, in terms of the conclusion of a story, yes, if we think another 12 months forward or 36 months forward, is Ed going to try and eat Shaun? Probably.
Well, he already tried to eat him. Like when he first sat down, he reaches over to try and bite him, and he's like, "Hey!" Shaun pulls his arm away.
It does also, now that you mention it, it does take away from the fact that he killed his mother, because he could have chained up his mom.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have done. I couldn't have pictured him doing that.
See, I said nearly perfect. The reason is at the end. No, at the end. People pizza? Needs brains. Yeah. Extra brains and pineapple.
Soylent green pizza.
Oh, no, but it's made of people.
Please subscribe and hit the bell, share, hit the like, select live chat. Yeah, I'm only 10 away from 1,100. I told myself I wasn't going to be excited about 100 milestones anymore, but
no,
still like
we have like 6
happen.
more to go, yo.
6 more? No, 10. No, 6. What?
600. I thought we were at 11.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, we got 600 left. Well, we're not at 1,100 yet. We're at
Oh, I thought we were close.
You were close. Yeah,
I'm only a volunteer. I'm not a paid employee.
Yeah. Okay, 9 to go for 1,100, but yes, 600 after that for 1,701. 600.
That's the big one. That's the one you want.
That's the one I want, but I'm still gonna notice. Jill gets it. So the green pizza. Yes.
Do you make crust out of the Soylent Green? It looked crunchy. Like thin crust.
Liz was played by Kate Ashfield, Diane, Lucy Davis, David Dylan Morin, Mary, Nicola Cunningham, and then they have a list of all the actors.
I haven't seen most of these people in anything else except for maybe Simon, Nick, and Phil Nighy.
Oh, no, but Lucy Davis, if you could go back one, Jill. Lucy Davis was Daisy on The Office, the British Office.
And more recently, she was one of the aunts in the Sabrina remake.
And she was in Wonder Woman, the first one.
Oh, Janice Hot Topic says this was a great movie. Yes, of course you'd like it. There's lots of violence, but it is a great movie. Beyond that,
I am in the process of reorganizing my favorite movies, and something about this, rewatching this morning and thinking about it as being a perfect movie, because I do think it's a nearly perfect movie. This one's shooting up the ranks. Like, it's tight.
I love it enough
doesn't
that I want
overstay
to
its
know
welcome.
more. It's the kind of movie I would like to learn more about.
But now, now that I've opened the doors, I'm like, maybe I should go take another look at Hot Fuzz.
Oh yeah,
like deep dive.
Well, there you go.
Like,
good idea. I heard Ed is running for president.
He is.
He might as well be, but no.
Comancho.
Yeah.
My vote goes to Comancho.
That's being overturned even as we speak. That's debatable.
So I really got to go, and I wanted to, but I've got a panelist who just showed up, and so I've got to welcome PvP before.
Hello. I just wanted to say hi to everybody, and you guys.
What's your review?
I like it. It's a good film, but I didn't join today because it's been too long since I watched it. So I knew all of you guys have probably seen it recently, and you do a much better job on going over all the details than I could. So I thought, I'll just hang out in the chat and enjoy listening to the stream, which was, as usual, pretty awesome. So yeah, you guys did a good job covering the film, and it really is a great, comedy, horror, slash zombie film, whichever way you want to
Romance.
describe it. It's a good movie. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. And like Donnie
Yeah.
says, hello, PvP. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing okay. It's too warm. Oh,
Donnie.
too warm. 100
Is
degree
Donnie here?
days.
Heavens. Hello, Donnie. More phenomenal.
By the way, Jill,
Donnie.
you have a drill? What? This is a new one. I haven't seen Jill. Jill
Well,
drill.
This
Jill?
is actually this is actually perfect. Jill, would you like to tell the story of how you got the drill?
Yeah. Why she got
Well-
a drill?
Well, during a live stream on April Fool's, Doomcock accidentally said anti-derivative drill instead of Jill, and so I ran with it.
Okay.
And Fed for Hire made this for me.
Oh, that's great. I was
I-
wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never saw
I
that
love
one.
I love people renaming me, whether it's on purpose or an accident.
Yeah, I wish I could think of some good renames, but I've never come up with anything I thought that was that interesting. So that would be very good in a zombie apocalypse, though, to have a high-powered drill. You could
No,
definitely-
you're wrong. What happens when the battery runs out?
Okay, you know what? I thought about that, Scotty
It's-
R37,
it's-
but remember that movie with the Army of Darkness?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
the
Oh,
one
the
he's
with
chainsaw
got
extra
arm?
batteries on it.
Yeah, you got
So-
a bunch of rechargeable batteries. You got like 12 rechargeable batteries. You charge them up regularly. You switch them out when you need to. Problem solved, Scotty.
yes, and in that movie, he doesn't ever run out of gasoline. So why should I run out of battery?
That's right.
Because
We're
of
talking-
reality, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but yeah, if you want to say that you're just going to stab people in the eye, that works. If you want to say you're going
Yeah,
to club
eventually.
them, but the reality of a battery draining is kind of a thing that you'll have to deal with. And no, Bruce Campbell playing Ash in the Evil Dead movies didn't have to do that because it was fucking fiction.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
I'm
all these
fiction
movies
too.
are fiction, Scotty. That's why you could kill
But
them
we're
with a
talking
drill.
about what would you do in the real life, yo?
We're not asking that.
Well, I don't think we're going to find that out anytime soon. Thank
Yeah,
goodness.
we really don't
so,
want to find out.
you know.
All right. Then I'll sit down.
Yeah,
I
but
still think that's
I
a
was
funny
only thinking.
avatar.
I never thought, oh, in real life zombies. I was definitely thinking movie zombies. But
Yeah.
I had a really great time talking about this movie. I want to hang out and continue, but I've got a kid at science camp. So what I want to
Oh.
do is anybody has any last thoughts about the movie, please let me know. And then after that, tell me what you have going on around the internet and what you want to share. Starting with Scotty R37.
Hello. I with Kat do the Phantasmagorium, and we are returning on August 8th.
Yes.
And we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And I'm going to be out of the internet for like a week, so congratulations. And subscribe to Cinema Gulp with Ben, and it's fantastic. Had a great time this past Wednesday. Looking forward to 2 Wednesdays from now. But you should check out next Wednesday because he's probably got a great show. And then Anti-Derivative Jill, you're here. Why not like? Why not subscribe? And don't forget about Pop Culture Curator. He's going to be doing Lost in Space and Gilligan's Island. And who else do I really enjoy? Oh, pretty much everybody. Tony Stark, who was here. He's pretty cool. And that's it.
Oh yeah, he'll be streaming later today.
Oh, and I'm on X. I'm your favorite X.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you can still type in Twitter. It'll resolve to X.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I haven't tried. I have a hot link. Me and Elon are tight.
You've accepted the X. I have not.
I have not either. Twitter forever.
Twitter forever.
Meh.
Yeah. Twitter forever.
Oh man. See?
You
Scotty shakes
sound
his
what is the band that
Are you talking about the
New
Los
Order?
Angeles punk band called?
No, new No, New Order. What was New Order called before?
Bodies on X, like ecstasy?
Yeah,
Yes.
what were they called before? I know what you're saying.
Blue Monday. That was New Order. But who were they before?
That's an original pressing.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Great panel.
It's in this movie, and I forget.
Go watch the ones in the trilogy you have missed. Okay, I'll get right on it right after I pick up my offspring. And let's switch to Kat. Tell us your final thoughts on the movie and what you want to share.
Yeah, I think it's a really good movie. It's really funny. Steve and I might have a video on Wednesday or sometime next week for lightsabers, blasters, and droids, which we haven't done in a long time. So be on the lookout for that if it happens. And otherwise, we'll be back with Scotty for the Faster, More Intense show on Thursday, August 8th.
The Phantom Menace. At least. No, wait. At last, we will have a vengeance. At last, we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. Right? Is that how it goes?
Similar.
Okay. Indeed.
Well, I love Shaun of the Dead. Love all the Cornetto trilogy. Really adore Edgar Wright as a director. You can watch the first 6 minutes of Baby Driver on YouTube for free, which is just, oh my God, it's so good. I just, I don't know how many times I've watched that and rewatched it because it's just so brilliant. And then his most recent movie, Last Night in Soho, was, you know, Baby Driver is just a straight film. It's kind of a riff on the old film The Driver. So, you know, there's nothing supernatural about it or fantastic, but Last Night in Soho has really returned to form for Edgar Wright, and it just ties together everything he's ever done. And it's unsettling, really, because it does have kind of a current theme, and it's a little rooted in reality for a film that still is pretty eerie, but just, man, so good. He's such a great director. And what am I doing? I sing karaoke here and there, and so you can find me singing karaoke here and there.
Well, as long as you sing downtown.
I can't do it in that downbeat way. I don't think I could.
You don't have to.
Pet Clark is a little too high for me. I've tried, but at some point.
But I absolutely agree with you, Tiger, and I celebrate the entire catalog of Edgar Wright. I think he is one of the best filmmakers. Brilliant. And I love Baby Driver. You have to look past Kevin Spacey and just realize... No, you don't
have to look past Kevin Spacey because Kevin Spacey is innocent. He's been proven innocent in court. And that miserable rat who, reported on him for something that happened 20 years ago, it turns out that he was conflating a scene in a play that he was in at the time. You can look into it for yourself.
Well, then
there's nothing wrong with Kevin Spacey.
But also, there is John Hamm in Baby Driver.
There's a lot of great people in Baby Driver.
There are very many.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx, John Bernthal.
Wonderful.
Who's the lady? Lily James? She's amazing. Anyway, and then you get Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yay!
I've got to rewatch that sometime. I saw that in the theater, and it was just so overwhelming. It just sort of fell over when I came out. My brain couldn't quite cope with it all.
I felt the same way about Tron Legacy.
Yeah. I like a...
No, wait, Speed Racer. I meant Speed Racer. Same diff.
So Tony from Stark of Iron says he's still on his way to 1,000. You'll make it. You'll make it soon. You're doing such great work. So, and PvP, do you have any final thoughts? Or I know you were actually reviewing movies today, but go ahead and say an outro.
Sure. I can't really add anything to the film. That's one reason I decided to just pop in late, because I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I think I saw it on like a movie channel around the time it came out. So it's been a while since I saw it. So I knew since I didn't get a chance to rewatch, I thought, well, it'd be pointless because you guys have all probably rewatched within the last week and you're going to make far more intelligent comments and add to the conversation than I could. So I chose to not, I chose to not, get in the way, so to speak. But I just
Me
wanted to
too.
pop in at the end.
Me too,
Yes, Bill?
rabid robots.
But I just thought I want to say hi, because it was very
Hello.
interesting.
It's
Very
good to see you,
interesting listening.
PvP.
Very interesting listening to your stream, and yeah, you guys were, mentioning a lot of good points about the film, so I enjoyed that. So yeah, can't add too much about the film itself. Haven't done much on my music channel lately. It's too many 100-degree days here recently. The last 2 weeks have been brutal. Actually, I can't remember.
You're Canadian. You haven't had a 100-degree day.
Oh, we get lots of 100-degree days in the Okanagan,
Celsius, sir. You have not had 100 degrees Celsius.
Okay, 40 plus Celsius to do the math. Okay.
That's better.
It's too hot. It's just basically too damn hot is what
Too
it
hot
translates to. And
to do the formulas.
any scale of temperature, it's too damn hot. I'll put it that way. But I'm surviving as I generally tend to do, thankfully. Unlike some poor people in the zombie apocalypse. So yeah, it's just not much happening here. I'm just kind of going with the flow and day by day, day by day. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to mention another fabulous zombie movie. The South Korean film, Train to Busan, I guess it's pronounced.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that in the chat, weren't you?
It's an incredible film. Like I would highly recommend it. You saw it, Kat? You saw it, Kat, right?
Oh yeah, I got the Blu-ray. It's an
Yeah.
excellent film.
It's amazing. Like I was not aware of the film, and then somebody did a watch party, I think maybe 6 months ago. I can't remember who it was on here. And the film was incredible. Just
I
incredible.
haven't seen Train to Busan, and I just realized, I'm sorry, I'm intellectually slow, but I just realized that whenever anybody puts up a watch party on YouTube, it means that they probably have an alternate link for you to go and be able to check out in a what do you call it, a Jack Sparrow way to find out the movie, like a Cosme or whatever.
Yeah,
so I just found out that
usually.
watch parties are a scam. It just clicked. Thanks, guys.
I can't remember. Maybe it wasn't a watch party. Maybe somebody just recommended it and
Only
I
if
just
you-
watched it on my own. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
and thank you PvP for that recommendation. And I really love this movie even more the second time around watching this yesterday, and I want to see it about 20 more times. It's so good. I don't know if I would get tired of it. It's so amazing the way it was written and shot, and the music. Like Nix was saying, there's no dull moments. Everything moves along wonderfully. There's so many cool parodies. I think I need to see more horror movies actually to even appreciate this movie more. I know I have some holes in some of the inspirations of this film to be able to capture exactly what they were going for in this really, really great homage to classic zombie movies while also spinning it into something new.
That's why I
It's
highly
great fun.
recommend Train to Busan for your consideration one of these months, Jill. It really is amazing, and it's got a lot of heart. Like it's basically a father picks his daughter up, to go on like a fun little
Right.
holiday
Okay.
weekend.
You can stop now. You can stop now.
And
We gotta go,
no,
yo.
I was just gonna say
Well,
there's
I hope there are roller coasters. Rabid Robot
there's
says,
roller
Jill, you're a sweet. Yes. You're a sweet girl, Jen. Thanks for doing the stream. You're welcome. Working on videos and stuff.
Agreed.
And don't think I'll be live after Doomcock. Oh, you're okay. You know what? That is pretty smart. You have to know where to prioritize, when to work on your edited content, which is something I'm trying to learn how to do. But
Well, and from what I understand, the Doomcock will knock you out.
And well, if you're Man,
it's big. It hits. It swings.
It goes
well, he does
long.
swing.
It's a little exhausting, especially if you're active in the
and
chat.
he has so many references to so many films, to so many movies and plays, and you can build your radio, your music catalog and movie catalog just listening to him talk about stuff. Oh, okay, you will be live after Jim Cock. Autocorrect. Okay, sorry about the autocorrect, but for me, yes, definitely check out Jim Cock tonight. Even if you just, say
Just
hi
the
for a little bit. Sure. And then after that, Tony. But for me, I've got on Tuesday, I'm going to continue For All Mankind, finishing season 1, the 9th and 10th episodes. I'm looking forward to episodes that are a little less sad than the last 2 episodes. But I mean, even though they were sad, the dead baby. No, that was rough. That was brutal. Massacred my heart. I mean, it was good. It was good storytelling.
To dead baby movies.
I'm not. They're just
by
really
accident. It is by accident.
It's powerful. No, it wasn't by accident. I became a mother on purpose.
No, but, I mean the death baby. Anyway,
right.
We're trying to wrap up.
Yes, they haven't found out who hit Shaun either. Who killed Shaun is the question.
I'm not familiar with any of this. So anyway, keep going. Wrap it up.
Anywho, well, you're the one who keeps interrupting and asking questions here.
That is true. Thank you, Tiger.
Okay, so on Friday.
What?
Okay, so then on Friday, I've got I don't know what I have. All I know is Nana Visitor's birthday.
Wow, I've never heard that.
Nana, we got a
you
major
always have Friday planned out, Jill.
Yeah, so something to do with Nana Visitor's birthday. I'm gonna find something. I don't know what yet. So stay tuned to find out. And until then, have a fantastic Friday. If you don't know what to do or where to go Jill Raid, Bed Life. And say hi to
nice.
Bed Life's always on right after me.
Yeah, he's usually on Fridays. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me grab that link and put it in the chat. If you guys still want to hang out, he's a good place to hang out.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Bird of Prey 5.
Bird of Prey 5. Yeah. Kapla.
Kapla, exactly. Thank you, chat. Hell Karoga. 5 more days, Franco. 72 hours of outro for the win. Oh, yes.
Everyone should support me in my acquisition of a new Jen Walters. Apparently, it's coming in a box. I will, for sure. And I'm looking forward to it.
Don't encourage him.
Well, if it's funny, I'm gonna laugh.
Fun is fun, Millhouse.
It was funny in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I'll stop doing it when she stops laughing.
That's exactly right.
Oh, yes. I subbed. Thanks everyone for the stream. Oh, thank you for the subscription.
Rabid Robots. That's such a good name.
It is a cool name. And his mom worked on craft services for this movie we talked about.
Yeah.
It's even cooler.
That was a dirty joke, but I'm not 100%.
Oh.
So
yeah. Come on.
I want Tiger.
I know you want to believe.
I do. I believe in life after love.
Okay, I gotta go, guys. I'll see you.
Okay,
next
let's go.
time.
Let's get out of here before I make an ass of myself.
Bye.
Cheers.
is learnable. And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
As Bertrand Russell once said, the only thing that will redeem mankind is cooperation.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, you know, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
See you around the galaxy.
Fine, I'll kill you later.